Nailing it.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 6th edition of the Beerdcast. My name is...
Better rules than 3.5 edition. Sorry, go on. I just couldn't get out of that. Go on. Restart it.
No, we're going.
Cut.
We're going.
Dungeons and Dragons joke. It's the 6th edition. Way better rules than the 3.5.
All right.
There's no turning in this one.
My name is Zimmer,
My name's Curry.
I'm Amy.
John.
and Danny wasn't able to make it, so filling in, we have our special guest, Lindsay. Lindsay, say hello.
Hello.
All right, so that's everyone. First topic I want to get into is the barbarism that is marriage. Now, we do have one couple here that is married,
Here, here.
and you guys didn't have a ceremony, though.
No.
And what I'm referring to is the ceremony, because I had to go to a wedding today. And every time I go to a wedding, I'm reminded constantly of like how barbaric we still hold on to for the ceremony of getting married. Because think about the ceremony. You walk in and, you know, like everyone lines up like in a ceremonious fashion, and that's fine. But then as soon as people start talking, that's where the issue comes up, where basically the woman is the property of the father, and the father hands it over to be property of the man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds right.
now,
Yeah, that sounds okay.
now, I've raised this up to my fiance a couple of times, and she's just like, that's just how it is. But I'm like, it's kind of like offensive.
I mean, more so than the wife must obey her husband.
No, like there's definitely
That's
like
still in there in
It just
some.
goes deeper and
it
deeper.
like I mean those are like, you know, if you're gonna be in a religious wedding, you're gonna hear verses, and that was another part where like
if
they
you're
ca-
going to a religious wedding, there's gonna be misogyny.
well, yeah, but like basically put they always say to put God before your marriage kind of thing, and I'm like, we're here to like put these people like in a corner and like look at them and like clap for them, you know, and they keep saying like, oh, but put God before your marriage. Like, how is that encouragement for like a good marriage?
Christians eat that shit up, man. They
So-
do.
I don't know. Every time I go to a wedding, I think of that, and I just got to say it every time it happens. I got to get it off my chest somehow.
Leave room for 3 in that bed.
What
That's-
Holy
that's-
Trinity.
Husband,
that's
wife,
another-
and Jesus.
yeah.
That's why a lot of people that are Christian or religious in a certain way, they don't divorce because they feel like they're letting God down. You know, if they divorce.
They're letting God, like, breaking a contract with
Yeah,
God.
yeah, because it's, you know, till death do us part, and, you know, you have sworn yourself to that other person, so regardless of the situation, you know, they feel like they need to, you know, honor God, and in doing so, be in this terrible relationship.
Who's not getting divorced nowadays?
Gay people.
Yeah, that's true. Michigan, they just became the 18th state, I think.
I mean,
Allow people to
it's
have
not
a-
been legal long enough for the
Yeah,
divorces to
yeah.
happen.
Oh, that's not true at all.
No. Yeah. The last thing I heard,
Really?
I
In
forget
New
who's-
York.
I forget who said this, but they said, you know, if gay people really want to know what marriage is like, we shouldn't be trying to, you know, keep gay marriage illegal. We should make gay divorce illegal and see how long it
Where
lasts.
was that from?
I forget.
I saw a
Daily
post on
Show.
Facebook.
Was it Carl Pilkington?
It may have been.
Did you watch something on Carl Pilkington? Because I know he said that.
I think I just watched Zimmer's pants get tighter.
I honestly can't, dude. It was a pretty
I-
fucked up week. I can't remember where most things came across.
I was really hammered for almost all of it.
I remember hearing that exact same like quote though.
Yeah.
I forget where it's from, but I thought it was from Carl Pilkington. You're
Nice.
right. I did get a slight chub.
Nothing slight about it.
I thought that was all you were capable of.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. But
Well, it's barbaric, but also when you're at a wedding, no, I didn't have a ceremony, so I was never a part of. If you're not a part of the ceremony, it is the loneliest experience. And I was married when I went to it. But Amy was in her best friend's wedding. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Tyler. They're not listening.
Yeah.
And I spent probably like 5 hours before the wedding started, like sitting in my own little corridor with a book and nothing to drink. Yeah, that was not fun.
Okay. Nothing to drink is also on that list.
Yeah.
Like, do you mean like water?
No.
Oh, you meant a beer.
Yeah.
We were
yeah.
taking shots. I think that's
Well,
what you-
That's mean.
No one offered me
I was
shit.
the bridal party. I was just doing what I was told that day, and I was taking.
I was a tag
taking
along
shots.
apparently,
Yeah.
but I was reading a book. It was Green Hills of Africa, so I was reading about men with guns, and I was like, yeah, I could use that right about now.
Oh God, just be in a small village in Africa.
That
But
was
at
a
least
Greek wedding. Though.
It was, and this wedding was not. You went to a dry wedding, Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
This wedding was anything but.
I had a hangover for 3 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
That's a hangover,
It was
yeah.
so bad.
What's
Yeah, I had
the-
a hangover during the ceremony.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I was. Oh my gosh! I remember like, well, I don't wear heels. I can't walk in them. I don't. And I was concentrating on the floor, like, just pretend like you're sober. You got to make it down this aisle. You got to do it. Well, and then my friend messed up during the ceremony, and she's been Greek her whole life, and she's been to so many weddings, but she was nervous too. And so the whole wedding party, we were cracking up, up front. And at this church, you are not allowed to like even crack a smile. You know what I mean? And her godfather, who is really big again in the Greek church, the godfather is the one that gives away the child, not the father.
Okay.
And he was looking at all of us, and you could tell he had a military background because he had his arms behind his back, and he was just giving us all this stern look. We were like, oh shit, we gotta be good, and oh my gosh, it was so bad.
It's a lot of wine at a Greek wedding.
There was a lot of oozy,
Everything.
lots of special shots,
A lot of
it's like
Uzis.
crack alcohol.
Uzis.
Yeah, it's a Greek shot.
Oh.
It's got like a couple different types of liquor in it. And
But yeah.
it'll knock you on your butt.
Yeah, they had whiskey, vodka for mixing, but I mean every liquor, every beer, well, every cheap beer. But I can't believe whoever picked up the tab for all the drinks there. Like, I mean, they probably take
actually-
out a second
The
mortgage.
family provided all of the alcohol.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Open bars are the most
Yes.
insane.
Well, I went to a wedding where, and I'm not gonna say who,
Oh, yeah.
but they had to go check on the groom because he did at the altar, like
Oh my
their
god.
like reach of alcohol, and then like when he saw his soon-to-be bride, then he just starts like full out sobbing, like
Yes.
real tears, big fat tears going down his cheeks, like, oh my god. I'm like, this is the weirdest wedding. It was a really awkward wedding because nobody wanted. You could just feel the tension.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh my god, and he's drunk.
There's nothing like waking up the day after your wedding and asking yourself, "Fuck, what did I do last
Yeah.
night?"
Wake up with a ring on your finger.
Well,
Like,
well,
Oh, that. God damn it.
well, you know what we say.
Ah, this is not my wife.
No, that's not what we say. Committed to being uncommitted.
Oh yeah. Also, this is not my wife.
Makes sense.
Weirdly makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
True.
when John and I got married, the guy didn't have a Bible.
We
It
had.
was a piece of paper that he was
Yeah.
reading from.
You know how you have to have a witness though?
Yeah.
No fucking joke. I'm so happy. We got married in an apartment. Like, we drove to a dude's apartment to get married. And the witnesses that we had were probably, a 7 and 9-year-old dressed up as Ninja Turtles, sword fighting on the couches, being told to quiet down because love was in process.
And a pregnant, like 9-month pregnant
Yep.
mother sitting on the couch.
And a Marco's
Or
pizza on the
that.
coffee table. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
This is the greatest wedding that ever happened.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and you have to. We got like when we uttered the words, it wasn't like "Will you marry me?" It was like, "So should we get married?"
Yeah, we might as well. Should we just do it next week?
Yeah, because
Alright, let's do it.
to adopt Brianna, like, I guess we needed to be married for a year, so we found that out, and yeah, it was like the next weekend, like, let's drive to
Get hitched.
get hitched. The same person that married us married Amy's brother Glenn, who was a guest, I think, episode 4, and
that same person that married us.
oh God,
He
This is gonna get depressing. He offed himself. Yeah.
He tried to a couple times. He tried to slit his own throat, and he lived.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and like
not how I
so
would
he's
do it.
currently in an asylum,
So
living out the remainder of his
So
years.
is your
Happy
marriage still
wedding.
official?
It's,
memories.
I mean, at that time he was ordained. I'm certain he's probably not anymore, but hopefully we're still good. I don't know, actually.
It's kind of weird that you have to be married to adopt a child. Like, that's what makes the difference, is you were married for a year, not that you were committed to each other for, like, maybe, like 5 years beforehand.
I know. Yeah, because I was with Bree till she was a month, but yeah, that doesn't matter. And I don't know if it was an easier process if we were married. It was easier to.
No, it wasn't legal unless you're married, because
That's insane.
But like, why could you can adopt like kids from Zimbabwe?
I know, but in the state of Ohio, it depends too on the state, but in the state of Ohio, they like to have 2 parents on the hook. That is a quote from Child Support Agency. I did not make that up.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like your marriage has been. I mean, being with you is awesome. Marriage is just like awful.
Yeah.
Actually,
Actually,
yeah, we
have the
have
same-
less money.
Yeah, we have the same relationship. Nothing's changed
Yeah.
there.
I mean, yeah, the only thing that marriage has really changed is
Wait,
we just
Brianna's
make
last
less
name
money
is,
now.
your
Married?
last
Yeah,
name
that was
now.
worth it for the adoption.
married people get fucked? I thought, like, unmarried people got. Oh,
And
yeah.
so we got
You
even
get a lot
WIC.
back.
Yeah, we had like WIC, at our
Oh.
disposal. Now that we're married and it's dual income,
Mhm.
We still don't make money.
yeah, we always
But
joke,
because of
we'd be
that-
better off like if I just didn't work.
Mhm.
Just too rich for food stamps.
You were goddamn.
I saw
Yeah.
that. I like that quote though. That was at your work. That how the government takes pride in assisting people that are on welfare by giving them, food and food stamps. But then the nature,
At national parks.
yeah, the national parks prohibit you from feeding the animals because then they'll get you. I think I saw that. So
Yeah.
funny.
Very true.
It's true.
I like your guys'. So have you guys made the decision, committed to being uncommitted? Is that like?
I mean,
It's our thing.
I like
it's
it.
just, it's not in the spectrum right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we have a good thing going. It's not. Like, it's just too early.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's way too early to ever even think about getting married.
I wouldn't get married if my fiance didn't want to.
Oh,
Like,
I mean,
the-
yeah.
like
It's
the
important to
institution of
her.
marriage means nothing to me. But
Oh,
like,
okay.
I think it's important to eventually get married, but I mean,
I-
just why run into it?
I don't see the benefit in it. I
Taxes,
But no, for that reason. But I think that's bullshit. Also,
health insurance.
Well, in the hospital visits, all
right?
that.
That's the only reason why
Yeah.
getting married's important to me.
I have a friend. She and her boyfriend are refusing to even consider getting engaged until it's legal for everyone to get married. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
so did Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, but
well, they're sticking to it, which I think is
What about-
pretty cool.
Can convicts get married? Because they'll be waiting a long time.
Well, what I meant.
I know what you meant,
Yeah, oh,
but-
okay.
I don't know. I
Can't
think
they? They can get married, right?
convicts, yeah,
Yeah.
They can get married?
yeah,
Yeah.
get married.
Why not?
I don't know.
They have dating services that are dedicated to people in jail.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I meant same-sex couples.
Well,
I
we
think
were talking
marriage
about
is important.
convicts.
Yeah,
I
there's-
know.
Convicts getting married is way more fascinating of an issue than gay people getting married.
Because
Because
obviously, gay people
obviously,
should be
yeah,
able
it
to get
shouldn't
married.
be like, oh yeah, they get married just like anyone else.
Like,
Convicts getting married, I
I'd
didn't know
watch a
they
TV show
could.
About that.
Uh-oh.
I mean, why not?
Oh, she's not cheating.
3?
Yeah, we have 3 viewers right now. That's
Hey,
an
3
all-time high.
viewers?
Wow.
Hi, Chelsea.
Yes.
Hi,
Yeah.
Brandon.
Hi, Chelsea. Hello, Moby. Hello, Elise, which are my 2 cats.
Oh,
So that's
awesome.
gotta be it.
Yeah.
That's gotta be it.
She's got 3 different
Yes.
browsers
I-
up watching
You
it.
know who else is probably listening? Zach.
My mom. Hi, Mom.
I think Zach is listening
Why's that?
because he likes everything on Facebook.
She
So hi, Zach, if you're listening.
Ooh,
He was
or
in our
hi,
grade,
Cassie.
remember?
Hi, my
Thinking
sister.
about-
Sorry.
So we have a few different possibilities.
And we lost 2 viewers.
yeah,
I hate your cats.
we
Why?
do.
I like Moby. I don't like that other cat.
Since we've moved, she has changed, and I don't know why. She's very friendly now. She looks stupid, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
it's just the idea of a vanity cat.
No,
Cats are
it's
something that come to your door and you're like, I guess I have a cat.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. I don't like vanity cats either, and I just got a text message, so that probably was Chelsea listening.
I don't much like cats, though. But I'm just not ready for a dog, you guys. Just not.
Well, I would say in an apartment, like I'm not sure I would want.
She Facebook messaged you now?
Wow. I'm not sure I'd want a
Matt
dog.
Cole
in an
is listening.
apartment, though.
Hello, Matt Cole.
Hey, Matt Cole.
Cole!
Make us popular, buddy.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry I was mean to you in high school. You were doing way better now than I could ever do.
I feel like last time we had an episode, Curry had like this heart to heart, but at least that was an hour and a half in. Now here we are, and already just
See,
laying your soul.
every single podcast I come out of the podcast thinking, I really need to apologize next week. Every single time it's happened. Mostly to Matt,
Yeah.
because I'm really mean to him.
Yeah. Matt couldn't make it today. He was gonna try to, but
He's a neat guy.
so what's up, Matt? If you listen to this one.
So we're just doing shout outs.
Yes, we are. That's what's happened.
That's what it's turned into. Matt has a really good voice for podcasts, though.
He's got a good
We were listening to it, and
podcast voice.
I could listen to him all day.
Yeah. And Wrench Monkey. I love Wrench Monkey.
I like looking at him.
He,
Like, you know, he's just-
we did a podcast on. We recorded it Sunday, but I don't think Matt published it until I think it was Wednesday.
Okay.
And I don't think Wrench Monkey said anything for the first half an hour.
Yeah.
Because
He
we were
just kinda
talking.
plays games.
We were talking about
Yeah, I've listened to the second episode of Matt Cole's podcast, but you guys have a good thing going there, though.
Mhm.
I like the
I enjoy
setup.
it, yeah.
Mhm.
And your cat's like the special guest star in that one.
That was my sister's cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure that my actual cats will be in the new ones because I actually set up my little corner in my room. I took all my posters. If you go in the room, it just looks so unorganized because all my pictures and posters are right in the corner where my webcam will show me. And then there's just like bare walls everywhere else. So it's just like this cluster
Looks
and then
nice
bare.
there, though.
Yeah,
That's all you really need.
pretty much.
Just public. Yeah.
All you need is love. Love.
So, who is the best Beatle?
George Harrison.
George Harrison, thank you.
Yeah.
I guess that's just an easy one.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
even
that's
remember all
obviously
their
not
names.
John
I know who the
Lennon,
worst Beatle is also.
Ringo Starr.
Paul
Or John-
McCartney.
I would say John Lennon.
I would still say Paul McCartney. I can't stand that dude.
That's
Hey, he's a tool.
Yeah, mostly like everything he's done post Beatles, I just hate. I mean, I guess what was his
But I mean,
the
John
Wings
Lennon,
or whatever?
everything he's done post Beatles is
No, yeah, he was.
like
I'm not saying I like John Lennon. I'm saying
Bullshit.
George Harrison was awesome, and that's really all I care about.
it must be really easy to preach about socialism when you're making billions off of music.
Yeah. Yeah, I just read the other day. I should say every time I hear John Lennon, him and Kurt Cobain, I view them as like the same entity basically.
Yeah,
for what they represented.
Reincarnations.
Yeah. And then who's I think it was the lead guy of Oasis, one of the brothers.
Oh yeah, those dudes.
Gallagher.
Yeah, something.
Okay.
Gallagher.
One of them, he had this great quote where he was referring to Kurt Cobain, and he was saying how Kurt Cobain has a song, I hate myself and want to die. And basically he was just like, yeah, how could you not hate yourself? You're only in the most popular band, with people that adore you, with as much money in the world. Basically he said, like, you have everything I want except for Courtney Love, but even I could deal with her to have everything else you have. Like, that was essentially the quote. I mean, it was so true.
Yeah.
It's and I like Nirvana's stuff, but Kurt Cobain he's so annoying.
He's pretty annoying.
Yeah,
Did you hear they reopened the case?
I did. I don't know why.
Because I don't know. People really want to see Courtney Love. Didn't kill Kurt Cobain.
I mean, didn't her career path pretty much take her down in flames?
yeah.
She was in that Larry Flint versus the People, which was a good movie. Now that I and she was okay in it. And fucking Hole, I mean, it's not like that did anything.
Yeah, I remember Hole.
Yeah.
What a great name for a Courtney Love.
Exactly. Yeah, seriously. And like the whole controversy, like Cobain wrote like all of her songs in it.
I never heard about that. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I definitely heard that.
no wonder he never fessed up to it, because, hey guys, I wrote all the Hole songs.
Yeah, it's not something, you don't pad your resume with that. No, I did read the book, it's called Love and Death. There's two authors, I can't remember their names, unfortunately. But it's interesting. I think I'm in the camp. I think Courtney Love had something to do with his death.
Yeah, he was married to her. Of course he had something to do with it. Like,
No.
that would be your first thought every day, too, in the
Mhm.
mornings. That shotgun looks really tasty.
Yeah, happiness is a warm gun.
Yeah. It's just about heroin, though. Well, it's still fitting.
Well, Kurt Cobain, though, he died with a... Remember, there was a
It was a
controversy.
bunch of
The lethal
heroin.
dose
Yeah.
and the lethal shotgun
I mean,
shell to the head.
lethal
Like,
dose to a normal human being. However, Kurt Cobain, who was at that point made of heroin,
yeah,
like, could probably take a lot of heroin.
yeah. No, I'm sure you're right.
Does anybody know when like shooting heroin became a thing? Like I know that it started out as
Probably I don't know. I saw it in Ray. So
yeah, it started out. What was the name of
around
the
that time.
drug? It was called heroin. I mean,
Bear.
yeah, the Bear came out with it originally back in the day, and
It was
then
a cough suppressant, wasn't it?
Something.
I thought it was just a pain reliever.
I think they just
it even
put
says
it
it on
in
it. that it's just-
everything.
Yeah.
But
What
I
if
don't
it-
know. I just because it's become such a rampant problem. Like I mean, it's just,
Probably whenever syringes were invented,
Yeah.
really.
No, I think I agree with that. Yeah. as early as you could shoot up heroin, that's when people started shooting up heroin.
Yeah, I do remember it being used as a pain management.
Mhm. Yeah, Bear came out with it because I remember seeing the bottles on it. And,
Yeah.
you know,
They did cocaine also.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Because they just, what a time to live. Where, like, every drug
You
just...
go to the dentist and get a dose of cocaine.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Sitting
They're
in the
rubbing it on
chair,
your
like,
gums.
Take all these teeth out. I don't need these teeth. I'll get new teeth. You guys are just grinding these teeth way too much. They need to go.
I would love to see a stat on like, I obviously during Prohibition, like it's not like alcohol consumption took a nosedive, but it'd be interesting to see like if drug use and certain of these drugs, like if that just spiked as a result.
I don't know if drugs were really as much of a thing. We were watching Ken Burns' documentary recently on Prohibition.
Prohibition.
Called Prohibition. It's really good.
Aptly
really
titled.
You should check it out. It's you know how
Yeah.
Ken Burns documentaries are. You see a picture, they pan across the
Mhm.
picture, and he talks. It's
Mhm.
really good though. Especially if you watch Boardwalk Empire.
I need to watch that.
But it seems like everybody just decided, well, we're still gonna drink.
Yeah.
Like there was no, I don't know if there was rise in drugs because everybody just didn't give
No,
a
yeah,
shit.
well, and that's why I kind of prefaced it. I mean, obviously, yeah. If anything, maybe more people even drank in protest.
Yeah.
I think they said people were drinking more at Prohibition
Okay,
in
yeah.
that documentary.
What I think would be interesting is because of Prohibition, I'm sure the alcohol they were drinking was more dangerous
Oh, absolutely.
through the distillery, the
Yeah.
distillation process they had to rely on, which is the same with like modern drug use now, where now cough syrup was used in, I think it was methamphetamine. So now you can't ban cough syrup, but you have to be
regulate
like
the sale
you can
of
regulate
it.
the sale of it. So what do they do instead? Oh, well, the lithium from batteries, that works. Let's go that route. So like by putting so many regulations and trying to like help or curb the drug problem, which is a joke anyway, really they're just making it a more dangerous substance.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about heroin that like, comes up a lot is there's so many heroin overdoses because you can never tell how good heroin is. So if you get a vial of real solid knock you on your ass heroin
Yeah.
after a vial of this is like 3 times stepped on shit,
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna shoot up all that heroin in that vial,
Yeah.
and guess what? You're gonna die because that's some wicked good heroin you got
I
there.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I know this is kind of insensitive, and I know there's more to it, and I know, like, it's a problem, like, that people have, but I say it's survival of the fittest. Do it
Mhm.
up, do your thing. If you're dumb about it, I guess that's what happens. Like seatbelts. If you don't want to wear a seatbelt, then I guess you
John.
die because your head goes through
Why are you
your
looking at
windshield.
me?
Because you never
He's
wear
been
your
better about
fucking
it.
seatbelt.
No, now that I have
Wear
a
your seatbelt.
now that I have
much
a
better
daughter,
about
I do because she always gets on my ass about it.
Oh.
Bullshit. I'm gonna.
He's
Bullshit.
calling bullshit.
Because every time I've been in a car with you, you've never put on your seatbelt.
Was
Except-
Brianna in the car when you were in the car?
No,
That's
except-
why she wasn't there to
Except
give
if
me
you're
shit.
in my car, because my car will yell at you until you put on that motherfucking
Put
seatbelt.
on your seatbelt. It's
It's so
easy.
easy. John,
It's a
this is what you have to do.
was
Click.
this whole thing like a 6-episode ploy to have an intervention
Yeah.
about my seatbelt
Yes.
wearing?
You quit smoking, yet you don't wear a
Oh,
seatbelt.
Did he though?
Why did you?
Did he though?
I
Let's
did.
talk about
I
that.
did.
Let's talk about that, Amy.
Thank you. It's not me. It's her.
You got some cigarettes?
We do.
No.
Yeah, no.
She bought a pack. She
Why
broke
would
down.
you do that?
Amy, I'm disappointed in
I
you.
know.
I'm making this
I'm
public.
not proud of it.
Wow,
I
this is not the
actually
Wise
almost
family's
threw it
proudest
away.
moment.
You almost well do
It's
I
it.
not-
got one pack,
It's not very
On-
wise.
what, Sunday or Monday, and I've smoked 2 cigarettes.
Why? I guess.
I mean, it's not good, but they're kind of like an oh
Mm.
shit stash. Like if I've had a really bad day.
But
Bad
if they're
day
there,
today.
there's.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
I don't
never
want to be
know.
like.
Just take the healthy alternative. Drink.
I was waiting for you to say shoot some heroin.
No, I know. I shouldn't have bought them. I actually almost threw them away because I was
Yeah,
so
it's-
mad about it.
Don't throw them away. That's just a waste.
Yeah,
I did
they're
that
just
once. I was
they're in a
pissed at
drawer,
myself.
and if I have a bad day, I might have a cigarette.
Next to your shotgun and your heroin.
Yeah, Zimmer and I, we were talking about this last night. How, like, quitting smoking
Was the easiest thing in the world.
is the easiest thing, but it's something. You're never gonna hit a point where you're like, oh, wow, I guess I just don't want a cigarette anymore.
Yeah.
You're gonna technically be quitting smoking for the rest of your life. I feel like
Well,
I'll
that's
be
an
50 and still be
addiction.
like,
Yeah.
I could go for a cigarette.
I mean, I can't talk because I drinking alcohol way too much, probably for my own health.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I think about I really want a cigarette, I think back to Thanksgiving when
Yeah.
I smoked a cigarette. It ruined my entire night because I had
Yeah.
an American spirit and I was knocked out on that couch. My stomach just hurt real bad.
Yeah.
And you
Good.
farted everywhere.
Farted everywhere. I've never heard that kind of description for farting.
I love that you remember that time I farted. There's been a billion times I farted.
I know, but that was a pretty vivid night. So. That and the time you farted for a really long time on my leg.
I love that story.
I farted for like a minute. Like a minute in fart time.
Did we
which
go
is
over this in the last
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, we did.
Or was
We
that
did.
after we signed off?
No, we did.
Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't-
I don't
Hopefully
think
it was
the
on
last
there.
time, but I do remember.
I
Wait,
remember
no,
it coming
was.
Yeah,
up.
'cause Lindsay was
oh,
here.
yeah, I do remember.
That's right,
I wish
'cause
I
you
was
were
awake for
asleep,
that
yeah.
fart.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's a good one.
I just the idea that I fart so hard
Fart time.
that the blankets just billow out makes me laugh a lot.
That's a lot of pressure, dude.
It is. I've started an experiment
Not anymore.
Doesn't work.
lately,
Because
which
I got
is
it out.
it does work. You have been a part of this experiment.
God.
If Amy and I are in the car and we're driving somewhere,
Oh.
sometimes I like to see, like, say we need to go to Kroger, do some grocery shopping. Before I get out of the car, as I'm opening it, I lay out a fart and I open and close the door as quickly as I can when she's already out. So that way, the only chance I had to escape was that split second I got out of the vehicle. Just so, and then we shop for an hour. And on the walk back, I just in my head, like, did it absorb it into the materials? Like, what's it gonna smell like? Is it stale now? Do farts go bad?
They don't go good.
I yell at him every time. John, did you do it again? Did you fart right when you got out of the car? And you can't just wait. You can't wait until you get out.
Such an obscure experiment.
John, did you bake a fart in this car again?
I can't wait for the summer.
And then today,
That's
like,
a really airtight car.
oh my gosh, today I was at the edge of the bed and I was getting up and like all of a sudden I was like, oh god, god.
I love that it gets
I
trapped under the
literally-
blanket.
Oh no, I was like, I'm saving myself. I'm gonna do what you shouldn't do, and I'm lifting up the blanket, and then I'm just gonna run. So I peeled open the blanket, ran out of the room, made sure that the door was still open so that it could filter out, because John has farts that could wake the dead. It's so bad.
What are you eating?
You don't want to know what I ate yesterday.
We had some pretty shitty pizza last night, if that was this morning.
You should probably take some probiotics.
Pretty sure John survives on a healthy diet of dirt and trash.
They make underwear that has like a carbon filter in it, and it's supposed to. Don't ask me how I know this. Just came up in conversation. But they make underwear that has a filter in it that so if you fart, it will take this. It will like absorb. The
I'm very particular about my underwear.
I've seen seen on TV like blankets for that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have to watch this
blanket.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is it like an infomercial? Like, you know how they're like really
Yes.
bad? Like, it's
Yeah.
gray. Like,
Oh, did they
it's
do
gray.
that? Just some woman, like
Yeah.
somebody farts and they go, oh, like
Yeah.
wipe their head against their nose, and just a giant X appears on the screen.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
got to be a better way.
That it exists. I think it was during like when Billy Mays was still alive, but it's out there.
I really-
Billy Mays here.
For a straight pube.
I need to find that and watch it.
That is a really good idea, because I farted last night in the bed while Lindsay was taking a shower, and I just started to panic. I was just like, God, like, how awful is this? Like, my farts are my own. My smells like just the dirtiest, just the most rotten thing.
That smells
Like-
hilarious.
Like, I can't believe that came out of me. I'm proud, but like, I was like, oh no, Lindsay has to get in this bed. So I started to panic. So I lit the blankets up real quick. I'm like, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. So I started vigorously shaking the fart out of the blankets. Probably didn't work.
I wish John would do that, or like crack a window or something.
Well,
John,
I go into I fart into the corners of walls sometimes for you. It just so happens that it permeates the entire house after a little
it's seriously like a bomb that just, like it just waits and
Wow.
then like it goes.
Like, John's farts are the Big Bang. Like, his farts start off as a singularity that, in a blink of an eye, just spans onto an infinity.
It's terrible. And then they follow him too. Everywhere he goes, he's like, "Babe, don't come near me, because you're gonna be really upset when you do."
Interacts with dark matter and creates mass.
You know, like guys always say, like it's the whole cliche, like you let the woman go before you, and you're like, so you can check out their ass. I only do it because like I have a fart coming, and I do not want to subject Amy to this yet again. So whenever I basically like, after you, babe, it's basically I'm brewing inside.
And then my favorite thing is when you say you'll fart and
Brew
you're
and
like,
stew.
you're like, it's so bad today. John, they're always so bad.
But today was
No,
particularly
see,
bad.
and this is what you say every time. They're always that bad. Always. So it's terrible.
Can we move on from farts?
No, you cut this out of one episode. I need to bring this up
All
again.
right, go ahead. I'm just saying, we've been talking about farts for 10 minutes.
Because
And
you just
I
said
really
the word,
don't want to talk about farts for 15
You just said the word farts, and we all cracked up.
No, when dick jokes are hilarious.
Farts are inherently the most funny thing.
The word is
Like,
funny.
funnier than poop. Poop is kind of gross when you
Yeah.
come down to it. Farts are just
Yeah.
harmless balls of stink.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
they
in
come
farts-
from poop.
You
They're
learn a lot about yourself sometimes when you're about to fart. If you're in class and you're about to fart, you really confront a lot of like your identity in that moment. Who you are as a person is revealed.
Imagine if you had to fart in class and you had the confidence to just let her rip. But just boom. Just a big old trumpet duck of a fart. Like, just like that little question mark at the end too. Like, what?
There's punctuation in farts now.
Imagine, like, the freedom you would have as a human being
I know.
to just,
I feel imprisoned
that.
when I have to fart. in
yeah,
class.
you hold your butt cheeks
You
real
do.
tight, and
do.
you just hope it just slips through real quick.
I flex my abs and force it back in.
See, I never know if it's going back in or it's going out. but all I know is
Oh.
I don't feel better.
No. The farts relieve. Like, you need a stress reliever? Just have a big old
Yes.
fart.
I can agree to that.
I can attest. I had a real bad stomach ache last Friday. I was like, I need to fart, so I did it.
That's called the fart. The one that makes you just like,
Yeah.
It was mini
you can
farts.
just feel like, I don't know, there's some level that starts at your head and it just goes down as you fart.
Yeah.
Like,
And you feel so much better.
There was a time I was like, this needs to get out of me. Like, I think I'm seriously sick, or I just need to fart real bad. Turns out I needed to fart real bad. But the thing I want to talk about again.
Oh my God, we still haven't gotten to
This
it.
is the last
We
thing.
still haven't gotten to it. Come on, Curry. Let's come on.
This happened today a lot, honestly, because I had some bad farts today. Whenever I let out the
By the way,
stinky-
we're down to 0 viewers.
We're at 2. 2 people have been listening to us talk about farts for 15 minutes.
you two people listening right now,
I'm guessing it's Matt and Chelsea.
listening to me and learn about my farts. I let out the snakiest, nastiest farts. Immediately, it's when the customer comes up. It's when immediately the door opens and I hear the bing bong, and I'm like, my desk smells like a giant poop. Like, might as well just took a massive, like a curl, like a ice cream curl dump on my desk, and they might as well just be staring at it. Because that fart smells so bad. I'm pretty sure somebody walked in today and said, "Oh wow."
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
How rude.
Just can I laugh? Because I just ripped the fart in this chair, dude. This chair that I've been sitting on for the past 2 years smells
Yeah.
so bad. Because I've been farting on it for the last 2 years.
You know how you have an old chair, and if you hit the cushion and dust comes up,
This
mine is
chair
just
will-
fart extracts, just emanating from the cushion.
just a little
Fart
bit,
essence.
Yeah, the essence of all my farts.
just a little bit of poopy dust.
Yeah, a little bit of. And
Okay.
you know the
but
worst
guys-
part about becoming a membership at a gym is when you do sit-ups at a gym, everybody around you knows who's farting that moment, because every time I do on the come up,
What?
farts come out.
Zimmer's laughing.
No, our friend Matt, who does, well, I won't make that connection.
You won't sully his name.
No, our friend Matt in the chat has just said, I'm not gonna lie, I would stick my dick in a shotgun before I stuck it in Courtney Love.
That's the best way to describe humanity's feelings towards Courtney Love. It's summed up right there.
You know what? That, for some reason, this reminds me. John and I were talking last week about, what are some cool ways, that we can, make the Beerdcast more of something that someone listens to, more of a current thing. And we were talking about how maybe...
And that's when we're like, talk about farts more.
Yeah. To do an interactive thing, so on Facebook where someone could put a topic they want us to go over, or something they want us to cover, and then so it involves the audience basically, or if they want to send you a text or even call us and ask us a question or something online, it'd be kind of cool. Sorry.
That was a phone. Someone's
not
phone
my
just
phone.
vibrated, and it was somewhere in the vicinity of 2 women, and they immediately thought that each one of them farted. That's what just happened.
And now they're in tears about
But, I knew it was a phone.
it. Yeah, that's the difference. 2 women, they're each. No one's gonna come out and say that they did it. If it was over on this side, me and you, we would be competing. No, that was mine.
They definitely both thought that the other one farted, though.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
I have multiple girlfriends who like to. They've always in their bodily functions, and one of my good dear friends at work was like, "Oh my God, Lindsay, I had the worst night. I had the hottest parts." She's like, "I'm really happy that my fiance's not home." I'm like, Emily, oh my God, why did you tell me that?
How are we back on farts? All right. No, I'm drawing the line. I'm cutting it off. Amy, you had an idea for the Beerdcast.
Oh yeah, just that we could do more like online interaction, I guess, or
Yeah.
you know how Matt's like chatting with us
so
right
we
now.
could-
It'd be kind of cool.
Since we don't have too much of a following right
Well,
now.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the first time that's ever.
Oh yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
she's talking.
Think
Amy and
about
I
it.
were talking about this last week. Like when we were talking about different skits, we can have like Curry's gonna have a skit coming up.
Oh boy.
Yeah. See there, maybe we even need a little more lead-ins to these kind of things.
This is absolutely the best episode.
We're not starting your skit yet.
I'm so excited.
I know.
I know.
We'll get to it.
I didn't want to start it yet. Amy, go on.
Okay.
Oh no, but I was just saying
It's a
that
teaser right now. We're teasing.
you know, like maybe
John knows how to
even
tease.
I could put something on there like, hey, if you want us to talk about something, listen to us, subscribe really quick and listen, and then we'll even just a shout out like, oh hey, thank you.
But not even like during the episode when it goes live,
Right.
but throughout the week on
So-
Facebook, if we have a Facebook page, or I don't know how this shit
If
works.
somebody could leave a comment, I check comments
I know.
practically daily.
I left a comment on the first one, and I think I'm the
No.
only one to comment on
Yeah.
our video.
We had one other comment, but I don't want to bring it up.
Yeah, we have one like.
I've liked it.
I've
Oh.
liked it, so
I have not because I don't. Ever
I haven't
watch
liked
videos.
every one, but I know I've liked a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were pretty good. The other ones I didn't so much like.
So we could start out as just like, if you want us to talk about this, or you want to link an article, we can all read it,
Mhm.
then we can commune on it.
Voice
but-
our opinion.
But then, like, if we get more popular, we can do it real time, like just quick
Exactly,
questions,
yeah.
just Q&As real
Yeah,
fast.
That's-
fun.
Yeah, no, it would be, yeah.
But you can even, if you leave an article, if you even want, leave any comment you want, and we can include your voice in
Absolutely.
the podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you leave anything, like if you leave any sort of comment anywhere on either the links we share on Facebook, the Beardcast does actually have a Facebook page. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that likes it.
I didn't know that was
But
one.
I
I'll have to-
I-
I just checked. It's be the first to like this page. But that's for the live broadcast. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Okay.
Go on.
but leave it on YouTube. Really, anywhere we'll see it. If you want us to
Mhm.
talk about anything, you want our input on anything, throw it out there because we'll fucking eat it up.
Yeah, and I think at least 2 of us don't check Facebook, so if it's left on the YouTube comments, there's definitely a chance that I know Curry and I will.
I check those daily.
I
'Cause I
know.
like checking.
Statistics too that we get.
Do we need to log on for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have the login?
Yeah, I got
information?
the great password.
Okay.
Yep, no one's guessing that. Oh man,
But yeah, that was.
But no, I like that.
BEERD.
really like that we started doing this. Cause
Yeah.
it's made me comfortable with myself. My voice, I like it.
No,
Yeah.
You have a good
helps
voice.
It helps with charisma, and talking, and I'm gonna segue on this. I was talking to you last night.
She's pointing to John.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was talking to John last night about, I forget what it was.
Good talk. Good talk.
No. But this relates to how you were saying how you like that it helps you feel more comfortable with basically speaking. I guess.
I hear myself in a different way. The first episode I listened to, I basically only wanted to talk to people by yelling into their mouths, so they could hear the way I speak in my
Right.
own head. Because I have a sweet dulcet baritone, the way I hear it. Sorry, go on, Zimmer.
No, but I have a social as John brings over a case of beer.
I'm tired of walking to the fridge.
I have sort of a social anxiety. I don't enjoy talking to people I don't know, which is funny because I work in retail and I have to do it all the time.
It's highly unenjoyable.
Right. But in personal settings, where I'm just at a party, I don't like meeting new people. I don't like getting out of my element. And one thing that's helped me the most is I watch a guy, he's a StarCraft caster, and he does a daily every night, 2 hours long. His name is Sean Plott. He does the Day 9 daily. And very popular in the StarCraft community. But anyways, he has this thing where every time you go to the store, you make eye contact with someone. As you know, you go to the store to buy things. Make eye contact with someone. Someone that you would normally never approach for any reason, and just say hi to them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Why-
don't.
But it works.
I think that I would like if that I was on the other side of that.
Right.
I feel like I would hate to be on either side of that.
But it builds your self-confidence is what
you
he's
just
getting at.
walk through the store and you see I would be passing John and I'd be like, hi,
Well-
and then I walk away. I don't it's not hello. Let's
Right,
have a
you don't stop and
conversation.
talk, you just say hello. Because under the context that he's presenting it, it's, he's talking to a lot of, teenagers, mostly teenage boys. So, they're playing video games. They're not, the most social people in the world.
Right.
So he gets a lot of people, asking him, how to help their social anxieties, because he's obviously, he talks for 2 hours by himself on this thing, and he does it fine. So his advice was mainly for, approaching women, basically. And to work on that, and when you go to the store, if you see, a woman that you would want to talk to, you don't necessarily need to talk to them now. Just say hi, just to break that ice, just so it gets you on a more comfortable level in talking to strangers. What
do you do when they say hi back?
You just say hi and keep walking.
You're walking past them and you
Just,
say,
hey, how you
"Hello."
doing?
So
See,
on the other side of the spectrum, for me,
Right.
I also have social anxiety.
Yeah.
But because of that, I say hi to everybody, and I laugh too. I always make this I'm like, hi, how you doing? I have this stupid guffaw that I come up with, and I feel like such a moron. And I'm like, or if it's obviously not my fault, and I run into somebody, or they run into me, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, because I also have anxiety too. But I'm on the opposite end where I say sorry too much, or I speak too much about it. You know
should
what I mean?
start, instead of saying that, if you run into somebody or that
They
awkward moment,
ran into me.
just instead of saying I'm sorry, just say I have social anxiety.
No, but it's funny because I'm the opposite, where I feel like I have to talk to everybody about it.
Well,
Not about my anxiety, but
I'm
just-
the opposite of your opposite. I laugh because I think I was a dog in my former life because I don't like loud noises. I hate the vacuum. But my thing is I'm very social, and I've met I work in healthcare. I talk to my patients a lot, and I have learned so much. I've talked to patients from all around the world, and I've learned so much about different countries and their cultures and why they think the way they think. And I mean, I've networked for other jobs at my job with patients before, but that's because I like to talk to people. But this setting, talking into a micro, I feel like I'm getting red because this makes me more nervous. I'm not a performer, I guess. I played violin for years and never played in front of a person. But I did it for me. But I don't like to get up and do things in front of people. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I feel more comfortable when I feel like I'm almost forced into the situation to speak up. I feel comfortable speaking up on this sort of forum. This is fine to me. Or if I'm in the classroom, I always speak up in the classroom. And also, I even kind of told myself I need to speak up more, because in high school I never did because I didn't care. But I'm I really want to be involved in college. I want to get something out of this, so I speak up all the time. But then what happens is in classroom I will speak my mind on every issue, and I'll debate and argue, or just have fun conversations, all of that. The minute we get out, sometimes other students want to talk to me, and that's when I'm like, oh no, dude, I'm out of the classroom now. I'm gonna go.
I'm off the clock, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm piecing the fuck out.
Yeah, so
get away from me.
Yeah, I guess that's where mine is. Here I feel totally fine. The second we turn this off and I just look at you for it, I'm like, are we done? Can we go?
I mean, Curry
no,
can,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, agree. I talk to anybody and everybody.
Oh yeah,
sometimes
it's impressive.
To his annoyance.
It's just impressive, compared to what I do, which is just curl up into a tiny ball whenever any sort of minor social interaction happens.
For as much as I mean, in some ways I do hate people because I work at a job where I have to work a 15-hour shift, and when I'm ready to go home, some a-hole rolls through the door. Oh, I've been sick for 5 days, and I decided to come in 10 minutes before you close. But that's annoying. I'm you fucking asshole. go home and kill yourself because I don't care.
Oh boy.
Take your lupus and shove it up your ass.
Well, sometimes when you're really tired and you didn't get lunch, you get a little grumpy. But
A little grumpy. I feel like that's a little bit further than the grumpy spectrum of anger when you're telling people to just go commit suicide, go slit your throat.
honestly, there's something really wrong with you right now. But I love people. Like, I talk to, like I said, like, sometimes I hate them. People can be big ol' assholes, and I hate the internet because people are really mean on the internet. But I just think that, like, I like to talk to people, and I love to hear people's stories because I like to be told a story, so. Yeah.
You know what the worst thing in the world is?
What?
Holding a door for
Yes.
somebody.
No.
Yes.
Oh my
No,
God.
it's not. Because you follow one rule. If you have to think about it, keep going.
That's...
Yep.
Mine is
I don't feel
how
like that
convenient
works.
Can I be for the other person?
I've,
Me.
yeah,
That's so bad.
I'm with you. I've held a door open for somebody probably for longer than 5 seconds, and the entire
Yeah.
time, I look at them and I see they're too far away, and I go to move, like I'm gonna close it, but then I'm like, they saw me holding the door open. Now, if I don't continue to hold the door open, I'm an asshole.
That's what I hate, like, as the person, like, someone's holding the door open for me, but, like, I'm obviously too far away, but they're
So you have
holding.
to run.
Oh, I'm
So
like,
you have to
oh,
run.
yeah, I'm gonna
Yes,
run
that's-
for the door.
That's right. If you have to think about it, keep going.
Yeah, but that's the beautiful conundrum is when I hold the door open for somebody and I see them run, I always say like, oh no, you're okay. But when someone holds the door open for me, I always run.
or if you're in a parking lot and there's a car waiting for you, you feel like you need to run across the parking lot to like
yeah.
let them through. You know, I do
Yeah,
that.
not if it's current.
Oh, I
But like,
I do that.
you know, like crosswalks or like crossing the street or like crossing a parking lot as a pedestrian, there's always that tango between a car and a person where the car like is inching forward, the person stops real quick and be like, "Are you gonna stop?" So the person has to stop,
Yeah.
and then the pedestrian walks across.
It's the same
Like,
thing with a four-way stop.
We could
Yes, I was just going to say that.
we could have both just gone in our separate ways. The pedestrian could have crossed before I ever had to stop moving.
Yep.
I don't follow that rule. I'll be like, okay, you stop. I'm going because I'm a pedestrian. If you break my hip or my kneecap, I'm suing you. No.
I've realized the entire city of New York has found the way around that problem, which is when you're-
Hey, fuck you!
yeah, when you're walking down the
New York
sidewalks in New
accent.
York, you just don't stop.
Nope.
You just go. It doesn't matter if there's a car coming. It doesn't matter like if you're the only one. You just go.
I think my brain would just fry itself to death in New York because of all of the interactions that are going on all the time.
You know what-
Like, everything's fucked up all the time
Yeah.
here.
What's scary is I went to New York with my two best friends in high school, Liz and Brandon. And Brandon liked this podcast.
Hi, Brandon.
That Brandon.
We're going to bring that up. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be a thing.
3 shout-outs in a row.
Yeah. For one like.
It's
one life.
yeah. And so we went to New York. Just like, well, fuck it. After doing mushrooms, we went to New York.
We talked about like doing mushrooms on the Drunk Cast, which was episode 4.
Okay, perfect, good.
Boy,
So,
howdy was I.
yeah, so that's when we went to New York. I realized how easily I can assimilate into any situation because like 5 minutes. We first went to, I think it was the Bronx, and there was like a car wash on every street corner. That's how I knew like yeah, this is a different environment. This is a new game that I'm playing. I've never been a part of this in my life, and you just realize whatever everyone around you is doing, that's what you do. Like, key is like blending in. You know, you don't want to like step over any boundaries. Like you blend in, you assimilate to the situation, and it took me like 5 minutes to do it. It's kind of depressing how quickly it happened.
In the meantime, Curry's in New York with a fanny pack and a nap.
Are you kidding me?
Visor.
Curry's in New York in his hotel room, curled up in a ball like, all right, we can go outside today, buddy. We can go outside today. We can do this. No, we should just watch TV all day.
You build up all your courage throughout the day to go to Subway.
Which is in the hotel.
Holy shit. Can we talk? There was an idea for a segment we had, which was like, you know, this week's hate.
Yes!
This week's thing I hate.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now, Zimmer. Lead us in. You're the fucking host. Lead us in.
I don't know what the segment is.
You brought it up. It was
Why don't you-
little things that happen to you
No.
in customer service that just you hate.
No, that means just anything ever that you hate.
Yeah.
Oh, that segment was gonna go in a whole different direction for me. So I think you guys thought up of your own kind
Oh,
of.
maybe we did.
Yeah,
Let's
just
do it
go.
first.
Let's go.
Do it.
Fucking
Run with it.
drive-throughs are the worst thing humanity has ever come up with. The idea that your fat ass doesn't have to get out of a car to order your fat ass fucking fast food, like you can't just walk 20 feet to the front desk, pisses me off to no end. Also, because I can't use them because drive-throughs are I forget what you call it. It's just the worst language to communicate with somebody.
Okay.
I like Taco Bell because I don't have to mention I don't like mustard on my sandwiches. Like going to Wendy's, I have to gear myself up. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get the Chipotle chicken sandwich because the Chipotle chicken sandwich doesn't come with mustard or pickles. So I just get to say, I want the Chipotle chicken sandwich, and that's it. But when I order a double stack, I have to say, double stack, mayonnaise, ketchup, and onions. That is 4 things I can fuck up on one sandwich. And 4 things that other person on the other end of the drive-thru can fuck up in one sandwich. Do you know how stressful that is?
And,
He's a
you know what's
weirdo.
even more stressful? We have drive-through pharmacies. Like, if you're fucking up a sandwich, like,
Honestly,
who's fucking up your prescription?
Actually, I had
It's just, like-
somebody from. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I had someone from.
You do it all the time.
That's okay. I was more just just to say it because it seemed right. But someone told me not to use the drive-thrus at pharmacies. That they actually take longer than just going.
Oh,
into
yeah.
the store.
I just go in.
Yeah, actually, the
Well-
pharmacist told me that. He's like, just go in because this takes longer because we ignore you. I'm like, oh, good to know. Thanks, because I'm
Yeah.
sitting in my car. Because I decided to try it one time. I was at CVS. I was like, hey, I'm going to see how this goes. I was like, this is the worst decision of my life.
The healthiest decision of my life is driving a hoopty, because I am not permitted to go through drive-thrus at McDonald's or Wendy's or even pharmacies because my car is so loud
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the engine.
that I can't order my food through the intercom because it only picks up the rattle and the sputtering of my vehicle.
Probably the coffee can for
And so, because I have to walk into Wendy's, I don't want to be seen by that many people walking into a Wendy's, so I just don't order Wendy's.
Why did...
John's favorite thing to do is to order
Fuck other
fast
men.
food for me. Especially at Taco Bell.
Oh God, why do you...
John's really good at ordering other people's Taco Bell. He did a really good job.
I hate ordering other people's food.
I do too, man.
Me
Fuck
too.
that because because-
Jesus.
like you don't like mustard.
Nope.
Do you know how much anxiety? Like if I go to Wendy's, you just want a cheeseburger, right?
What do you want to order?
And
Hi,
no.
sir, what can I get for you today?
You tell me you don't want mustard. All right, go ahead.
Can I get that sandwich? So can we get a double stack with ketchup and onions and mayonnaise?
That
But usually doesn't go like that.
I flip my shit whenever I order something for someone because they usually want something stupid.
Yep.
If you just want like a number 2
With a Coke.
with a Coke,
Perfect.
You
fine.
never want a number 2 with a Coke.
That's what I get, dude. Because
Oh my
I don't because
God.
first of all I like all that shit on. I don't
You
like
are a
pickles.
God of fast food.
But I don't like pickles, right? So
Oh, I like
I still
pickles.
get when I go to Wendy's, I'll be like, I want a number 1 with a Coke, and that's all I'll say. And then I'll pick the pickles off. And you know why I say that? I don't want to put the pressure on someone over there to take those pickles off.
Yeah. You know what I have to do? So you have to ask without mustard. It's an awkward situation. Nobody wants to be a part
It's
of
not
it.
without mustard. It's
I know where this is going.
What I have to do
Yes.
when I
oh
go
my God.
when I go to Taco Bell, I know what I want. When I go to Taco Bell, I get the number 8 with the Baja Blast. That's my order, and then
Why
I
would
get
you
up to the
get a-
window and I get the fire sauce.
Why would you get a Baja Blast?
Because it's the only place I can get it, and I just feel special when I get it there.
But they have Taco Bell has a Pepsi license, and you know how good Pepsi fountain drinks are. Fountain soda is the best soda.
Yeah, but Coke is way better than Pepsi.
That's not even remotely
I disagree.
true.
I used
Okay.
to be a Coke person, but
Pepsi
I like Pepsi.
is it is the nectar of the just really down.
Toxic God.
Yeah,
The
like
toxic guy.
the really
But-
shitty trailer park guys.
Yeah, exactly. But when I go to Taco Bell, and I also have to order Amy's food along with mine, this is what happens. And I always get mine out of the way because mine's short and sweet. I go in there. I mean, I usually get the number 8 or number 9 if I'm
He
feeling
walks in
adventurous.
there. Let mine.
Wait, are you walking in or are you going through the drive-through?
Well, it depends. If I'm in Amy's car, drive through, my car, walking
I
in.
forgot about that caveat.
Yeah. When I'm walking in, even worse. So let's say I'm in my
No
car.
better.
I'm getting off of work, and I'm walking in. So now I'm looking at this person directly in the eyeballs. And I order my food. I want a number 8, Baja Blast. And they're like, I see it go. Two Taco
Jesus.
Supremes without meat.
You.
And this is how it goes. And they kind of look at me like, without meat? Yes, I said without meat. Do you want beans? Nah. Do you want the potatoes? Nah. You sure you don't want meat? Yeah. And then they put it in. And now what do I also have to do, because I'm so well trained, when they put it in, there's no button that says no beef, because Taco Bell does not have a button that says no beef. So they type in 2 tacos, and I have to ask again. That's without meat, right? Because I've brought it home way too many times with meat, and then,
I won't eat it.
she won't eat it. She won't eat the meat.
Oh,
It's terrible.
fuck. I wouldn't have married you for that specific reason. Like, I would just be like, that's why. Because I have to go up to a fast food
Yeah.
counter and say, I don't want the beef in my Taco Bell taco.
And I'm gonna say it's half Amy's fault, half Taco Bell's fault.
No, it is.
Oh my
What do you-
god, farts are coming up again.
I can't help it.
Oh,
I'm
that's
talking
so
about
good.
Taco Bell. Come on. Taco Bell used to have a cheesy bean and rice burrito that I would still order now, even as a meat eater, because it is so good.
Yeah,
They
obviously
took
it's
it off the
great.
menu. So
But you can
fuck
still
you.
order it, right?
I've never been able to order it
Do
since
they
they took
still
it off.
file it? 5-layer?
I don't know, man.
They do.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
God.
what I get every
but
time.
it's probably not $1 anymore.
Oh no, it's like $1.59, but even for that, it's amazing.
No, fuck that.
No, cheesy bean and rice used to be half pound, 99 cents. Then it became like
Yeah.
0.4 pounds.
Taco Bell used to be
$1.89.
a haven of fast food.
Dude, I can
Yeah.
be full for $2.50.
That's great. I could have been full for $1. No, $5.
yeah, but you can't.
Wait.
You can't get that anywhere else. Nowhere else comes close to that.
Yeah,
I don't
Wendy's
know.
used to.
Well, but
I
they
thought-
don't. So like,
I get my money's worth out of Wendy's more than Taco Bell.
No, I'm just saying it's bullshit. The dollar menu has now become the value menu.
yeah, fuck that.
Like
You guys
these
get
are
Well, yeah, that's
fast food
because
restaurants way
inflation.
Too much.
your inflation. I want it to be $1 still. Back in my day, a double stack used to be $1.
well, if you want to eat, you should get paid more.
The least they could do is, if you're gonna up the price, don't also take away from the product. Don't make it less of a meal and then charge more.
But that's
At least
how
keep it
you
the
What have you-
same
what have you
size and
seen that
charge
with?
more. Fucking everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere is pretty much the same.
Yeah, they
Same.
take away the portions, which we eat too much anyway. It
Except
gets,
the pop does get bigger. The sizes are bigger now.
Whoa.
You get more drink.
God, I want a fountain drink. Like I want a fountain drink fountain. Look, I
Just
want
in your
that
home,
You
thing
want
in
a
my
fountain
house.
drink dispenser?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want that in
A
my home.
fountain-
A fountain of Pepsi.
And all it needs to
Love
do
that.
is dispense Pepsi.
We're gonna have the worst house.
But I'm
in the
gonna
world.
turn the basically because a fountain drink is like the soda water and it's the
Syrup.
syrup.
yeah.
I'm gonna turn the syrup fucking high as shit. It's gonna be fucking.
One bag of
Awesome.
syrup per like 72-ounce drink. You know what I hate when you go to the fountain drink and their syrup hasn't been replaced and you get nasty shit soda water in your
That
bottle?
happens
I-
so often.
I
It's either that or the carbonation's way off.
Yeah.
Speaking of social anxiety, it's getting that and like I have to dump this down that drain.
You get a different soda though.
Which I'm pretty sure they just pick the ice out of that drain and dump it back in the top of
I
it.
think so.
But it's just like the idea that somebody's watching me like just dump this drink. It's just horrifying.
You know the easiest way to get
tissues.
Lindsay, you might be able to attest to this as working in the medical field. The easiest way I feel of getting sick at a fast food place is not eating the food, getting the ice in the drinks. Because if they don't clean out where the ice is in the fountain, which I've heard so many people talk about that have cleaned it out and how nasty it is, that is the easiest. There's like fucking mold in some of them. Yeah. So I think
There's
that's
fecal matter and everything.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true.
Yeah.
Like it's
Gross. I like this.
Your phone just rolled away. That was amazing.
and it
I've never seen a rectangle shaped thing roll that much.
and it probably gained like twice as much fecal matter. But you know what? That's okay.
That is
It's a
okay.
risk you're willing to take when you.
My
get
immune
it,
system
Mona.
is the best. I handle money, so like
Oh,
my immune
man.
system just like
Yeah.
fuck, throw anything you can at me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will destroy it.
Yeah, working in retail will do that to you because you're around everyone constantly.
Yeah.
So like you're exposed constantly, but never enough to really get you sick. Same concept where like if kids eat their boogers, it's disgusting,
mm.
but
It
they
boosts their
actually
immune
boost
system.
their immune system incredibly
I used
because
to do that as a kid,
See,
and I'm a
yeah, we've
Fucking
been having
boss.
this issue with Brianna because she's been eating her boogers, and I'm
Better.
just so concerned that there is a little parasite in one of her boogers, and one time she's gonna eat that booger, and then it's gonna go to her intestine, and then we're gonna have issues because she's gonna have.
and
parasite.
her body is gonna rock the fuck out of it.
It might
Be
not.
like, guess what,
you know
little
what I mean?
bitch
Like,
parasite?
It could be in it. I don't know. I just like it just scares me so much. I don't like her eating them.
My immunity's pretty good, but I have allergies, so that's why I have
Yeah.
a box of tissues.
My immune system, considering I worked at a daycare for a couple of years, I think I've got a pretty kick-ass immune system. But
Yeah, I've been expecting a heart-to-heart this whole time because I saw you, before we started the podcast, bring a box of tissues out. And I was like, oh, man, we're getting deep tonight.
no, it's because the bandit. She is allergic to our home.
all right, I want to bring this up because my fiance is a microbiologist and she specializes currently in like biowarfare agents. But she's listening and she just texted me, food poisoning comes from contaminated food in the restaurant. Yes, ice is dirty, but you get sick from restaurants from the bacteria. So parasites, and she also said parasites don't go to your intestines, it's the eggs. So,
A parasite just pooped in her boogers.
the
The
ice trays.
machine,
Yeah.
Okay, that may be true, and that's a bit more comforting, but I still don't want mold in my... where
Oh,
the ice
definitely.
Yeah,
Mold, like, I feel
Like,
like mold could be an
Clean
issue.
that shit out more than that.
I don't care about
Literally.
really like
Yeah.
people's
Little
bare hands
poo,
going
that's
into
in
it.
there.
Yeah.
I guess because if people's bare hands go into it, it's not going to be enough to really make you sick. Like she said, it's going to be in the food. Is
I mean,
what
if
makes
you're,
you sick.
I mean, if
'cause-
you're immunocompromised though, like there's, what is it? The
Then why are you eating
what is the
fast
name
food?
of-
yeah, like that's
what's the name of that parasite? The cryptosomiasis.
HIV.
That is.
Yeah.
It causes. No.
AIDS.
If you have AIDS or HIV, yeah. If you eat something that's contaminated with cryptosomiasis, is that the name of it? Where it's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Because usually the eggs, like she said, just travel to your intestine and you can pass them with diarrhea. But if you are compromised in any
That
way,
is not as simple as you make it sound.
if you are compromised and if you have HIV or AIDS or something else, then
They just
you
give you the
can't.
little wave
it kills
on.
you, and you go septic basically. And you
Yeah.
start vomiting up your bile.
Well, for as much as like we think like how dirty things are now, like think about the old timey days, like how
Mhm.
dirty everything was then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fine. They live what? It's like they're 50. It's great.
Well, and like we've become so aware now, like hand washing is so important, and obviously immunize.
Pussies.
Curry, didn't you have a segment?
I have a segment. I'm gonna pick up my phone.
Jordan looked like you wanted to say something. Did you want to say something?
I mean, I want to hear what Curry has to say.
Oh. So this segment I've been thinking of for a while. I almost wrote things down This was really important to me, but then every time I wrote a word, I realized this is fucking retarded.
All right.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. Sorry. So this is called The Things You Like Aren't As Good As You Think They Are. Also known as TTYL-AA-TTA.
Was there a gay in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good as you and.
Write down the
They
acronym,
are.
it'll make sense.
Okay. So say it again.
TTYA-AA-gay. TTYLA-. God damn it. Yeah, you fucked me up.
You got it right the first time.
It's really a tongue twister.
TTYL-AA-gay. TTA. The things you like aren't as good as you think they are. Basically, I don't know if I should. I'm gonna just lay down some ground rules for this little section here. I wish I wasn't as drunk as I am right now to.
Dude, this is the beer.
Cast.
Cast.
BEERD. Number one, basically, I'm gonna name something and I'm gonna make a list of points.
And everyone can
Podcast.
disagree with you.
Podcast members and special guests must shut the fuck up during these points. I am here to not have a conversation with you. I'm here to talk down to you. Because you probably like this thing, and I think it's bad.
So pause. So
No,
basically-
see, you're doing it already.
I'm not.
Lindsay, we're not allowed to talk.
Well,
He's
I
getting
don't-
on his pedestal, and we have to wait till he gets
Well,
down.
this
talk.
segment is basically
It's
as
your life.
known as Lindsay's life.
Yeah, let's
So we can just shorten that up.
All right.
Number two rule. I am not an expert on these things. I have not seen a lot of these movies. I have not heard a lot of these artists. I mean, I will stop watching a show as soon as it starts not interesting me. The point is, I have not done any research, nor will I, because I don't like these things. So I stopped interacting with them. Rule number two, most important. Like,
There's
not most
three.
important.
You're at 3.
No. Rule number two, I said was most important. Not all of them are really important. Rule number 3, the things I like about the thing I don't like may not even have to do with the thing I don't like. If I watch a movie and the experience is bad because the movie theater projected it wrong, that is on the thing I don't like. It's not. The things I don't like have to do with the experience of me not liking them, not just the things that they are. This is really important as well. I feel like these are the only 3 rules. Rule number 4 is I change the rules on probably a weekly basis. I don't care. Number one rule is most important. Important. You guys shut the fuck up during my point. Shut the fuck up. So
We're not allowed to talk.
So angry.
no. You're not allowed to talk during my points. I got a text. Okay. So I was thinking long and hard. I had a lot of there's a lot more things in the world that I don't like than I like.
Yeah.
That's
Sounds about right.
that's something that's true about me. But I was thinking about this. There's a lot of things I could bring up, but I figured if I needed to do this segment, I really wanted to capture the scope of this segment. Like just really demonstrate what it means to be me and in my mind. So I figured nothing is more perfect in this subject right now. So this week's thing that I don't like that you think is as good as you think it is, which is not the acronym, is Star Wars: The Original Trilogy.
Whoa!
Which, I mean, it is no surprise to anybody here. I don't like Star Wars that much. By that, I mean I don't like it at all. Whether it be the cookie cutter, just cardboard standouts of characters, the terrible scale of a universe, or just the bad world building, George Lucas is a poop. He's a big old dump. I don't like Star Wars because it's bad.
Can I say something?
Okay.
No.
wow, you're-
No. I haven't gotten to the first point yet.
Okay, so we're still allowed to say something. I want to say something now. I'm married to somebody that loves Star Wars, and I like Star Wars, but I don't like watching Star Wars with people that like Star Wars because they just talk to you about Star Wars the entire time you're watching Star Wars when I just want to watch Star Wars. Go on.
I don't even want to watch Star Wars. Number 1. George Lucas is a bad director, and you cannot separate the original trilogy from the new trilogy. No. Speak.
You just said we weren't allowed to talk.
No, I said
Go for it, he
while
changed the
I'm
rules.
making my points. That is my first point. First point done.
Right.
Original trilogy
John
is not
Curry.
separated from the new trilogy. Go.
Okay. The original trilogy changed filmmaking. Period. And people were able to see how science fiction could be cool and how it was exciting to kind of, broaden your horizons a bit and look at something that was a little bit different. And using, like, modern objects to make something super spectacular, like the lightsaber. Something so simple and simple sounds that people appreciated, didn't realize what it was.
Something as spectacular as a sword?
No,
Basically,
a
is what you said?
lightsaber changes the sword because it burns everything and it's really cool.
But it still
I could-
cuts like
I
a
could
sword.
do
It's still a
this.
sword.
No, I burn you.
But it cauterizes you, so you don't bleed.
It's really cool.
So you
And,
get a
well, and, I mean,
PG-13
it's
rating,
It's
but
just
it's
a
still
little
a
bit different. Like
sword.
it's almost like an opportunity for nerds, like in a way, not necessarily, but kind of in a way to like, kind of feel something and it becomes something to those people. And I'm not a nerd by any means, but I appreciate the series for what it is. Mostly nostalgic purposes. Like I grew up on the original 3, and that's what we always grew up watching. Jabba the Hutt was amazing, and I loved him. And when I look back at my memories, I think of those movies. I remember, laying out a blanket on the brand new carpet, having a pizza, and we all sat down and watched a Star Wars episode. And that's what I remember. When I saw the other 3, first off, I wasn't connected to Anakin at all, period. Like, I know that he had a sob story. It didn't matter to me. I didn't care.
He's a shitty character.
And so, right there, I felt like, yes, it might have been more futuristic, which bugged me because it was in the past. So that, obviously, that
Yeah,
in
it's a
itself
shitty plot
is
hole.
annoying.
Are you
So-
working for Curry right now?
No, that's how I'm separating the movies. It's annoying.
No,
that
you
the
can't
way-
separate the movies.
I am right now.
No, you can't.
Okay, you can't. I can.
No, that's not fair because you watched that new trilogy, and guess what? Darth Vader is always Anakin Skywalker. He is always the kid that you saw who was way too young to be banging Natalie Portman. That's who Darth Vader is now. Is that wooden piece of shit child actor.
That's how you see it. That's fine.
That's how it is. You can't separate them.
Okay. I
Darth
disagree
Vader-
with you
Oh my
completely.
god.
This is the point of the segment. Not as good as you think it is, Amy.
But when
You have a strong
What is
connection
Darth-
to a thing? Meh.
I know.
what is Darth Vader's backstory to you then?
No, I mean, it's really, it is sad. Okay, I will admit that. It's sad that, his mom was kind of, she was murdered, like, very brutally. That
Yeah.
sucked. And then he turned to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who started training him.
But his backstory
And-
is still, though.
It's very tragic.
No, but what I'm saying is his backstory is still the new trilogy to you.
Yes.
So you can't separate them.
Yes, I can,
By
because
that
that's the
very-
new trilogy, and the
Mm.
original trilogy is different.
But the Darth Vader in the old trilogy is still the same Darth Vader in the new trilogy. You equate those two. When you think about the Darth Vader in the old trilogy, you think of the Anakin Skywalker in the new trilogy, don't you?
I will say that you think about the decision that he made in episode 3.
So you
Yes.
can't separate them.
You,
You cannot separate the
yeah,
two.
I mean, okay, I see what you're saying, but I don't automatically go back to Darth Vader's childhood. Period. I don't.
But
like,
it still makes Darth Vader.
And that's because I saw the original 3 first. And so I didn't think about having, Luke and what's her name? What's her name?
Leia.
Yeah, Princess Leia. I didn't think about that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think about Anakin, you're breaking my heart. That whole you know what I mean? Like I didn't think about that
Just
segment.
planks that are actors. But basically what I'm saying is you're arguing to my point that when you think of Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker.
No. I do see what you're saying, yes.
Okay.
But I see a man who has made choices that he thought would benefit his family.
Okay, let's bring this up.
I don't see a child Anakin.
If The Dark Knight had a series of prequel movies about the Joker that raised the Joker as like just this wiener of a kid that grew up to this wiener of an adult that somehow went crazy, would that make the Joker less interesting to you?
No.
100% it would.
I don't think it would.
If you explore the Joker's backstory, you are taking away everything
Mm-hmm.
I guess the mystery
that he stands
yeah.
for, and I think that's the same with
But
Darth Vader.
But I would like to see it. I don't know.
I disagree with your example, but I understand why it doesn't work for Darth Vader.
But
You think the Joker would be more interesting if you had his backstory?
Oh, absolutely.
How?
No, fuck
How?
you. No way. That's bad
Tragic.
opinion.
You
Because
know it's
there had to be something that was really fucked up
His mom.
to turn
I
the
think it's
Joker
his
to
mom.
how he is today.
No,
Okay.
what I heard
But
is he's a soldier. He was a soldier.
Yeah, so
but even if
But I don't give a
you don't
fuck.
need to see it.
No. You just need to understand that there was something that turned
Yeah.
this guy into the Joker. Guess what? He's way more interesting. This is
100%.
this
So
is
you know what I'm taking from your segment is that
you have a bad
the
opinion.
last 3 movies were not necessary at all. Period. The original.
They're not
3,
necessary.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you can't separate the new trilogy from the old one. Like, looking at the entire story of Star Wars,
Well,
you
after
still have to
okay,
consider all
Okay,
6 movies.
because I will say I agree with you to a point. Because yes, Darth Vader, who he is, who is prophesied to become.
is way less scary as Darth Vader in the old trilogy because of the new trilogy.
Well, no, let me finish. He is the one who is supposed to kill off the Sith Lord, and he does that.
Great.
He does that.
But
so
he's
yes,
still a giant
you're
wiener.
right. You're right that he does that, and you can't separate it because this child who is supposed to be the one to kill off the Sith Lord does it. He does. You're right.
Great.
Child, when I look at Darth Vader, I see a man that made a choice for his family and thought that it was going to be the right choice.
I think the new trilogy makes Darth Vader inherently a less scary person.
Yeah, and I think you did too, Amy. Think back. You were saying you laid out a blanket, you ate a pizza, you watched the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Did you fear Darth Vader? Did you every time he came on screen? Did you feel that his presence looming over the entire movie?
Yes.
How he was going to impact everything. Now you see Anakin, and you're saying you see a man who did things for his family. Now when you watch Darth Vader and the old, that obviously affects the way that you see him. He's no longer as imposing as he once
Yes,
was.
however, he chose to switch over to
Okay.
the dark side, and so regardless of his family, he almost killed his own son.
Okay.
He
That's
did.
fine, but you
And-
have to realize you're basically agreeing to Curry's point.
Zimmer's got a thing to say.
See, you guys don't like for the villain, you don't like seeing originally.
I'd only seen the origin story of the villain.
Okay. You guys both watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the most fascinating thing about that show was
But he completely,
yeah.
he went from good to bad.
Yeah.
Like that was that story.
Because they did it well, though.
Yeah. No, and I agree. You
Like,
brought up an example.
Walt White went to Heisenberg,
Right.
Yeah.
but he did it in an evolution that makes sense.
Yeah. And it
Right.
didn't do it in an evolution where they 30 years later went back.
Yeah,
showed
it wasn't
But okay,
necessary to go
well,
back.
not necessarily the Star Wars reference, but when we brought up the Joker reference,
Yeah.
you two were both very dismissive of it, where it hasn't, to my knowledge at least, I'm not very informative on it, but it hasn't been done to that extent.
What's your argument then?
That you guys were very dismissive of it because of the sort of, because of the way Star Wars did it.
But like basically,
Even the Dark Knight,
What-
you're
are
still
you
saying you're
trying to-
bringing up an example where you have the villain, and then afterwards you go back and you fill in. That's not the way to. The way to do it is the way Breaking Bad did it, and other stories have tried to do that and have not been successful. But the only way to do if you want to
Because
do,
they start at the beginning.
if you only want to do an origin story of a villain, then you need to begin the villain at the beginning of the origin. You don't go back and fill it in.
I don't think there's for any storyline, I don't think there's a cookie cutter way to do things.
I just think
If you don't think there's a cookie cutter way in storytelling, then you're just wrong.
I think
This is
like
John
some
Curry
villains
segment now.
deserve an origin story, but some villains don't need it. Like Darth Vader, the little
He
bits and
is less scary, yes.
the little bits and pieces of Darth Vader that we get from the original Star Wars trilogy are way better than what were shown with the new trilogy.
I agree. I think they only really needed about one movie, where like in the third episode where he turned.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
That
felt
was
out.
that was a very strong emotional point.
But Walt White is not. The whole story was him turning from a really good, upstanding citizen to an evil person. Like that is the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
So his origin story was the show.
And not only that, but also how your intentions changed over time. His intentions did start off pure, or at least for his family. And the
I mean,
last
pure
episode, when
enough.
he says, "I did it for myself," and you could tell he was being truthful.
Yeah.
Then
Oh,
you see,
thank
not
God
only
you
was it the
finally
man,
saw it.
yeah, not wasn't just the man that changes. Now it's the intentions of that man and how they change.
Walt White died a long time ago in
Mhm.
that show. Heisenberg died in that last episode.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. Like,
Yep.
it's just there's Walt White and there's Heisenberg.
See, there was Anakin, and then there was Darth Vader.
Yes.
Anakin died a long time ago, but they just cut it up
He
and they
died when he
presented it.
became
They
Darth
presented it in different
I
chronological orders.
understand what you're saying, but Anakin's backstory is dog shit.
So
90% of it, yeah, I'll
and
agree to that
that's
much.
the argument. The argument is, if it was done well,
Yeah.
then it would have been fine.
No one would have been arguing. I would not have made this point if
Exactly.
the new trilogy
But-
was classic film.
Yeah.
Like was just really
I didn't
regarded
enjoy
as
it.
good.
So
Yeah,
what
garbage.
what could they have done better in episode 1?
Less CG, more physical work. George Lucas should not have been involved. George Lucas is not a good filmmaker by any means. He got lucky with. I'm getting into my next point.
What is your second point?
Okay. All right. This is a little divergent. Follow me here. Point number 2. The Matrix trilogy sucked. By that I mean the Matrix started out as one movie. It was supposed to be one movie. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yep.
And that was it. Same with Star Wars. A New Hope, which was just Star Wars, had a beginning, a middle, and an end. But they decided we need to make this into a trilogy because
Whoa.
it's profitable. And they turned Star Wars into Star Wars A New Hope, which they turned into Star Wars
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, which they turned into Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And they did that with the same thing with The Matrix, which is The Matrix Revolutions, The Matrix bad neck movie. Basically what I'm saying is any movie that starts out as an individual movie that is turning to a trilogy is inherently going to fail because you started the story in the first movie and you solved it, but you took the second movie and you decided you needed another conflict. That was the same thing with Star Wars, where they destroyed the Death Star, but they decided in the second movie that guess what? There is another Death Star. That is bullshit.
Wow. That's a fascinating point. Especially because out of the original trilogy, my favorite is Empire Strikes Back. That is my favorite Star
That's
Wars
everybody's
movie.
favorite
Yeah.
Star Wars movie.
But you're saying
I really like A New Hope.
I mean, A New Hope is a condensed movie. But they decided they needed more out of it. And they got... I just don't like that. Like... I just don't like movies that decide, we're going to experiment with this one movie. If it's profitable, we'll make another one. But if it isn't, you're going to stop right there. That's
I definitely
that's a
see your point
shitty
there.
way to make a movie. Are there any arguments?
I mean,
I'm scared.
I don't know. Like, I used to be... I still really like Star Wars, right?
know.
And, I used to enjoy Star Wars a lot more. And then I started watching, like, Star Trek series.
Oh god, that's
And it just goes, like, to a whole other level.
Star Trek is The Next Generation is one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
I've only gotten through one season of it, but
it was probably season 1. That's why it was season 1, right?
Right, yeah.
That's why it's not great yet. Season 3 is when it starts.
Just watching the original series, I watched all of that. I'm watching it in chronological order, and I watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and just the universe they set up for, at least for like an entertainment TV/movie series, they've strategy, I guess, basically because there is no capitalism in Star Trek, because if there's anything you want, you can just use energy to create it through a machine, sort of. So they filled a lot of loopholes where basically the only real direction they were going were, to find out things, to find knowledge. Like that was their prime
directive.
Their prime directive, yeah.
Well, the prime directive was not to
Right, but
disturb any species that did not know about.
Right, but the reason they were out there was to gain knowledge.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's so weird to think that like such a large amount of people are out somewhere not for financial purposes, because there is no financial gain.
That's kind of the funny thing about Star Trek is like the idea that a civilization got so bored that they decided, go find something.
Yes.
Like find anything, just entertain us. But that's why I like Star Trek so much. It's just Star Wars is fantasy, Star Trek is science fiction.
Right.
And I guess that's a difference between the two. I mean, Star Wars even admits it's happened a long, long time ago in the galaxy far away. But Star Trek is still better because
at this point, like I enjoy Star Wars, but I don't really like fight for it. Like I'm proud of it because it progressed the science fiction genre somewhat.
But I mean, Star Trek came before Star Wars.
But see, maybe I'll find an argument with somebody here with this, because I've heard this, and I've never watched Star Trek. I only watch Star Wars, the original 3, for enjoyment. If I do, I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan. I'm not a huge fan or that knowledgeable about either one of these. But the point that I want to make is I've been around this conversation so many times in my life, this whole Star Wars versus Star Trek thing, and I view it the same way as I do anyone that says, well, the book was better than the movie. Because to me, you have different art forms, but even within the same art form, as in, I mean, you have television and they did movies. I know Star Trek did movies, but you have, Star Wars and Star Trek, but you always compare them to each other. But you can also compare them to every other thing that was done in that media. But no one ever does. It's always Star Wars versus Star Trek. The same way with books and movies. Like, that's the way I see it, is you don't have to compare the book to the movie every single fucking time. Even Vonnegut, when they made Breakfast of Champions as a movie, he even said, when they asked him, like, are you worried about how they're going to handle your work or what they're going to do to it? He had the understanding to be able to say, it's a totally separate artwork. Yeah. This is no longer mine. It's the whole reader response theory. I put it out into the world. Now it's the audience's. And if somebody wants to make an offshoot of it, then that becomes, you can compare that movie to my book just the way you can compare, say, Star Wars to my book. It's its own thing, and you need to view it as such. And so I don't know. Every time people go Star Wars, Star Trek, I always just think about, but you can compare it to every other thing in the world. But why are people so fascinated and want to settle this argument between the two?
Because those two set the standard.
Yeah.
And they're similar.
It's basically the argument of science fiction TV. Like, science fiction novels have a way different set of standards they can
Mhm.
compare to themselves. I mean, I think Foundation is the best, like the best fucking science fiction book ever made, written. Asimov had just miles above anybody else.
Do you know how many books he put out a year? Because I know.
No,
Okay, so
it's prolific.
Yeah,
though.
I know most science fiction writers, they'll put out like 4 or 5, even 6, like, books a year, which is just like unprecedented amongst any. But that's also why science fiction writing has such a negative stigma, or I guess.
I mean,
stigma's
it's like
negative.
it's a lot of
But-
cash-ins, but like that's what makes the classics so classic is because they actually stood out against that. Like the how many like science fiction novels are out there.
Yeah. Well, and I will say.
Martian Chronicles is fucking awesome.
Yeah, in every writing class I've been in, whenever somebody has a science fiction story presented, I've never read one that I don't read it and I'm like, I've read this hundreds of times.
Yeah.
So I mean that even goes against the argument I had. Like, so I do get that. I get that there's this whole, you have to fight against your own genre really if you want to stick out, especially in science fiction when the market's flooded. I mean, science fiction is everywhere, and the people that produce it produce so many works of science fiction at the same time.
I mean,
and
it's like mystery basically.
yeah, or even if you want to go there, like romance.
Yeah. I mean, it's the problem of it though is like when science fiction becomes so good, it becomes fiction.
Yeah,
I mean that's
you're
so
true. You're
obvious
right.
because
You're right.
1984 was science fiction. Now it's fiction.
Yeah,
Brave New World was science fiction. Now it's fiction.
Mhm.
Like it's a bullshit category.
Yep. And you could still put Slaughterhouse-5 as science fiction. There's enough.
It's obviously
yeah,
science
but
fiction.
it's still.
It's got aliens in it.
Mhm,
It's got time travel in it.
Mhm. But what stands out is.
I don't like Kurt Vonnegut that much though. I think
Oh,
he's
you don't?
okay.
Oh, I love.
He's just a little too irreverent for me.
Yeah.
Where were you at? What hour?
Oh, what duration?
What do you have another point for this?
I do have a third point.
All right, what's the third point? Lay it on us.
It's gonna probably start a little as conversation in the second point, but my third point of the Star Wars trilogy is the idea of scale. I have less of a chance of running into any of you guys at the mall than I do of meeting my immediate sister in the Star Wars universe. Like Luke Skywalker meets a random dude who happens to have a robot, or no, the robot comes to him that happens to have a recording of his sister who is running away from her father. That's ridiculous. Like that is just such a closed imagination that it just pains me to think about. You have an infinite universe to draw upon, yet all you can do is make the story of an immediate family. An immediate family where the brother in the first movie wanted to just bone the fuck out of his sister, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It bugs me.
No, yeah, it's
Isn't that
lazy storytelling, if nothing else.
what makes the story like interesting though because of that coincidence?
Yeah, and that's a bullshit way to make a story interesting. That's one of
Did that ever have? I could see your point, and if this is the case, and I'm on your side, if there was some sort of really worthwhile dialogue that happened in either three of the movies about them having a conversation about the coincidence, but also the nature of coincidence, like. Did that ever happen? Did that ever occur? I don't remember. Like, I honestly don't. But did that ever occur in the movies?
Like they mentioned the incidents
Yeah.
of coincidence?
Yeah. And how they met, like how that just happened, and how
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
Because if it did, like if he would have included that somewhere, and even as an after, it would have been the best maybe in the first if it did start off as this was supposed to be a singular movie. But at least if he would have realized, like, oh, I left that open-ended. Let me resolve that by having fixing in a good dialogue that explains coincidence in this universe.
You find out in, I don't know if it's episode 2 or 3, but okay, so in the first episode, they're both like somewhat attracted to one another, and he does kiss her.
Yep.
But she is more so leaning towards Hans.
No, that's a perceptual thing. That is absolutely a perceptual thing.
At least, from what I perceived then. What I saw was that she was leaning more towards him, not Hans. Lord help me. And
that German son of a bitch.
And then in the Return of the Jedi, we've just met the
It's a hard fucking swing. Return of the Jedi.
What planet is it where you have the Ewoks?
Oh God, dude! Like,
Ewoks.
thanks
That's
for
where they
making
find
my
out.
argument.
Okay,
Is
so
Ewoks.
anyways,
Point number 4,
okay,
Ewoks.
So Han Solo is a god, okay, and they're like.
Or C-3PO was the god, right?
No, yes, C-3PO,
Okay.
not Hans. Okay.
You fucking like, whoa! I missed something
no,
big.
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, so C-3PO is the god, and in Episode 2, Darth Vader admits to Luke that I'm your father. Like, dude, sorry,
Dude.
like
Dude.
this is kind of like,
Crazy
I'm gonna
night.
kill
Bro,
you,
calm
but
your tits.
you're kind of my son, and they're on the bridge, and he admits to her that they're brother and sister.
Okay.
Just so you know, it was brought up.
No. But I've always wondered, like, because I'm the same way, like, and I describe it as, like, my own nitpicking, but I don't like when things that are coincidental in movies or books, it's put in there because it's easy to put it in, and then it's never explained.
Like it's too coincidental.
It's too coincidental, yeah, and
But,
I'm
yeah,
talking about this specific
right.
moment, how he was saying, Luke's fucking going, he's in his jet, I remember the scene, and he's going, I forget what happened, but, like, it's when he goes back and his parents are, like, burned out.
Right.
And all this shit's happening, but he gets the recording from C-3PO, and it's Princess Leia asking for help from Obi-Wan Kenobi, who also... Didn't he also have a relationship with Obi-Wan Kenobi? So it's like
a
coincidence.
relationship with Anakin.
Yeah, coincidence piled on coincidence piled on coincidence. And
So-
it's
He didn't have a
never...
relationship with him until he met him, and his name was Ben. And the only reason he knew Ben was
Okay.
because he was watching him from afar.
Okay, but we still have the original coincidence that just is never explained.
So,
And it's the thread of the story, and it's never explained.
Like, we have an entire universe revolving around one family.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
but basically, they could have resolved it just by saying, like, there's some sort of convention, like, on this planet about something where they all had mutual interests, right? So then they all go to this convention, and then that's how the things unfold.
Yeah, I mean, you'd
So
want...
basically, you
you'd
can
want
explain
something-
it by a shitty plot point that explains it.
Yeah, you'd want something good. Like, I don't know. And
Like-
Star Wars is being, like, as classic as... And I'm not, like, against Star Wars. I enjoy watching Star Wars. But, like, that is something, there could have been something great in there. There could have been some great dialogue, even on the nature of coincidence or the nature of family, however you want to do it, that really kind of ties into this whole point that almost, you acknowledge, like, yeah, we needed to have this happen so we have a story, but we're not going to just, like, then push it aside. We're going to put some time into it and explain, maybe how this occurred, or, even if you have the plot point being, like, acknowledging, yeah, that was total coincidence, but you do it in an entertaining way or an interesting way of, make a all that to me would be acceptable. I don't know how you do it, but, like, people have done it. You can do it in a good way, and I'm fine with that.
I don't know. I feel like to go to that extent, every single movie would be, a trilogy. So there'd be, like, 9 movies just for the original series.
I just think the original Star Wars just made too much drama for drama's sake. Like, there was a lot at stake in that first movie, but they decided that wasn't too much, so they needed to bring in the family to it. And, like, that's why I just think it's bad storytelling. I mean, I haven't watched the movie since I was in... Like, it's been 7 years since I've seen the trilogy, but it's just, like, it's Luke...
You like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, absolutely. Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy. I've
Yeah.
ever watched. Because like you're playing into this point I just made was Lord of the Rings was made as a trilogy.
Right.
Like as a beginning, Two Towers is the middle, Return of the King is the end. Right, that's why Return of the King has such a long ending that everybody hates that I love.
I love it.
It's because you need to end so many storylines.
Mhm.
I mean, even Two Towers has an amazing end with fucking Sam just talking about.
I know that. Oh
It
God.
brings tears to my eyes
I think that- I
every
think-
time.
Yeah, I think that's Amy's favorite part in all of
I
the Lord of the Rings. Is
think I
Sam's-
cry at the
Yeah.
end of every
is so
Lord of the
good.
Rings movie because they're so good. It is Boromir dies, you cry.
Yeah.
Sam makes his speech, you cry. Frodo leaves
Yeah.
for.
God, Lord of the
God,
Rings is
The worst
greatest
part for
thing.
me is when they just destroyed the ring and they're coming down, and Frodo brings up a point about going home, and Sam goes, "I don't think there'll be a return home." I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God! Don't say that! Like,
It's
no!"
Sam
But,
has
like,
his moments.
You
Even
can't
more
say
so, it's
that.
just like
Oh,
him saying it to Frodo is Frodo never returns home. Like that's why Frodo leaves is
Yeah.
because he's always got that wound.
yeah.
Like he never returns to the Shire. And like we never think about that. We think of Frodo as this whiny little bitch character
Yeah.
because sometimes he is.
He's
But,
always
Like we never realize the weight he's carrying, which is why I love Lord of the Rings, is because it's got weight to the movies.
Mhm.
Whereas Star Wars has silly little sword fights against like silly little evil guys against silly little good guys. Like Lord of the Rings has emotional weight. It has fundamental good versus evil,
Mhm.
and it does it in a scale that makes sense.
It doesn't undersell. I mean, not that I've known anyone who's made this point, but I could see somebody making this point where the ring and the discussion of the ring becomes too much. And sometimes you have that in other things where it's, I mean, sometimes, you know, things lack subtlety, and subtlety is so important in works of art.
Yeah.
But the fact that the ring, they were never subtle about the effect and the impact of the ring, and I'm so glad they weren't.
Oh my god.
I'm so glad that they put it out there from the very beginning. When you watch the first movie and it just lays it all out, and then even the beginning of the third movie when you actually get Gollum's, the start of him finding the ring, and it's not about Gollum, it's about the ring. Like you actually get this like, I feel like I actually understand like the passage of the ring and the impact it has on everybody
got
else, and that's
fucking
central.
weight to it.
Yeah.
But like the thing that makes me most happy about the ring, and I just read this recently, I don't know, it's not me that's bringing this up, but the ring also doesn't know what its owners want. Apparently in the books, the ring just showed to Sam a big old garden. Like he just had the biggest garden of the world, and Sam was just like, well, that's goofy. I'm going to give the ring away. And when it went to Gollum was the king of Middle Earth, but the ring was basically like, here's a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
Like it's the idea that the ring did not know. Like it basically just spoke to the innermost desires, but it didn't know what those innermost desires meant.
Yeah.
Because the ring is not like the ring is a character,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that a lot. Whereas, I don't know, Star Wars just had that dude that should be killed or not, I guess.
Well,
Big old ship.
I just want to acknowledge that as we were talking about the whole Star Wars thing, our friend Matt was sending us a bunch of messages about like what we were talking about, you know, as this was being broadcast.
Oh, he probably knows way
and
more.
we were unfortunately not able to get that in time. And he has a lot. And Matt, I'm real sorry. Like I read everything, but we won't be able to acknowledge them.
Well, can't we bring up his points and go back?
I mean, we physically can, but I
What is
feel like
that?
they're going to be out of context to the point where
No.
Matt's
Are you
listening to this
lying?
right now.
Yeah, Matt's the only one
Or-
listening. We need.
Matt, what the fuck did you say?
I kind of want to know.
Yeah.
no, you guys talk.
Yeah, we
You
all
can't just say that.
Yeah, we need to know what Matt had to say about it.
But you know what? Okay, so I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's
The
the
reason
best.
I love The Hobbit, though, is because I just feel so good while watching it. because I know, because I've seen Lord of the Rings before I watched The Hobbit, that Bilbo Baggins lives.
He's fine.
And that's why I feel so good while watching it. You know
That's
what I
why,
mean?
like, the thing I hear, like, the most I took away from the Hobbit trilogy versus the Lord of the Rings trilogy is the Hobbit trilogy is it's a video game. Like, you just get to play along with these guys, and they get to do wacky things like, look at us, we're riding on barrels.
I
now.
knew that was the first point. you were
Like,
gonna bring
it's
up.
it's so goofy. Like, oh, we get to destroy the Mountain King. Oh boy,
you
this
know
is
that,
so exciting.
You know that Bilbo lives. So
And that's
it's kind of
great.
feel good, yeah.
Well,
But I
no,
mean-
but yeah,
But
that's
I love
But like you say that, but like
But I love
a lot of the thing I took away from the first Hobbit, watching it again, is like a lot of those dwarves are super likable, and guess what? A lot of those dwarves fucking die. A lot. They die really hard in the third movie.
All right.
why.
So Matt's first reply to this was
Not gonna lie. I would stick by
that we already mentioned that. He was supposed to bring balance to the Force, which meant killing both the Sith and Jedi who were
both corrupted.
corrupted.
Okay.
Mm,
And this is Anakin Skywalker. We're talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Correct.
The lack.
I
And
mean,
then
he did kill the fuck out of a lot of Jedi, but what about the
But
Sith?
see, Matt's third point is just says
He
that
agrees
everything it
to you
needs.
guys,
The
yeah.
lack of an origin story is part of what makes the Joker. Totally true.
Yeah, I mean that's why the Joker is the Joker,
Yeah.
is because he's
The
fascinating.
trilogy sucked because they never needed it. That is so true.
Thank
It
you.
was not necessary.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was, and I agree to that.
Yeah.
I agreed that it wasn't necessary.
Matt
Okay.
Matt needs to come on here one time.
no, he actually messaged me, and he really wants to come on and join us.
I would love that.
It's just a matter of whenever he's in Ohio because he doesn't live.
Mhm.
I mean, he lives within driving distance, but it's like a 7-hour
yeah.
drive.
Star Wars was
So-
always meant to be a trilogy.
Yes, that was the point that I read and wanted to bring up, but
I think that's bullshit.
see, like that's why I hated to bring it up because I would like him to be here to defend it. And
But like, if you watched A New Hope and never had an awareness of the other two movies, you would have a beginning, a middle, and an end to that movie.
And to
In
your
that-
point, very much unlike the first Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring,
yeah,
you knew as they were going, like, we're just getting started.
yeah.
Like, we've had the climax, obviously, because it's a fucking movie. You need to have your climax. But we know, like, we're just getting started. Now we have separation. Here comes, and then here comes Two Towers. Like, you're waiting for it.
Like,
so when Matt comes on the show, and he will,
Matt will destroy our asses. Good lord.
but I do want to have this conversation because he just said don't worry about it. I don't know what that's a reference to.
I think
but-
that was when we mentioned how we didn't get to any of his comments.
Oh, okay. I don't know what the kind of delay that we have is.
Well, we're going to have to do this in the future because we were talking about it earlier how we want the interaction, but since we don't really have a following, but now maybe every time we do an episode on the monitor, we'll have the comment section up so that
Right.
way someone's constantly seeing if something's added and we can actually
Yeah.
get to it. So, Matt, sorry, you're kind of the guinea pig for this episode. We couldn't. I would have loved to have gotten to some of his points because then we could have had responses and he could have responded to that. But
I wonder if we could get him like on Skype.
Yeah.
And somehow inject like. I wonder if
You can do
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. We'll talk. We'll figure it
we'll
out.
figure it out. But I do know, and we've had a very nice segment here, but I do know there's another segment that we want to make a continuous thing here on the Beerdcast, which is sort of Amy's baby. So, Amy, if you want to lead us into your
do
segment.
you have something prepared, Amy?
So I don't
Nanny
know if this is
prisoner?
point
Yes.
number 3,
Yes,
point
we
number
do.
4.
Nanny Prison. I love that title.
Can I bring up one last point?
Yeah, go ahead.
George Lucas sucks dick.
Okay. Now we're moving into
All right.
nanny prison. Is that what you
Nanny
named
prison.
it?
Nanny
That's
prison.
cool.
I
Great
love
name.
this. I
Leslie
love
named
this.
it Nanny Prison.
I love it.
Oh, you were amazing. Oh, come here, you.
Special guest.
Oh, special.
Curry's drunk. Nanny Prison.
Okay. So
This is a great podcast, by the way. I don't
All right.
care if anybody else listens to this.
Matt's
I
listened
just
to all
love
of
that
it.
Matt's
was
interacting
awesome.
with us. Like that's what I wanted to do. It's so much more fun.
Do you have to
know?
refresh that, or will that refresh on its own?
That should be live because
Alright.
the last time.
Matt, if you're still listening, type Amy.
It's not
But-
it's
no.
not that good of a stream.
Oh,
Like it
shoot.
takes a while.
I think it's like a 45-second delay. I could be wrong. But
Nanny prison.
Nanny prison.
Alright.
Nanny prison is the worst place to be. I never wanna be in a nanny prison. It sounds bad.
To me.
It sounds bad.
I wanted to make
so
it rhyme.
we have two stories, right?
Yes. They're
One
both
of them.
gonna be toddler based.
Okay, yes. Both of them will be presented as if they were
Children's stories.
they had to do with children.
Yeah.
Under the context of, that children were the focus of the story.
Yes.
But one of them is actually a story that is a true prison story. And our thing is to guess
Yeah.
which one of these stories is childlike and which one is prison-like.
And Amy will tell both as if they happened to her in the setting of it being a nanny.
Correct.
So
I know. I have a good record. I tricked 3 people last week.
you did.
So I'm trying to.
Yeah, I was the only one to get it
I'm
right.
feeling the pressure.
Zimmer's won. We're at the 0 at
See,
this point.
the trick was last week. Detail does not mean truth.
It is. We're slowly learning. We're picking up on these things.
So
Okay, take
There's hope
stories.
for us yet.
you manipulative motherfucker.
A new hope.
Tell
All
us
right,
some
story
stories.
number 1.
Okay, so last week, one story was based at home, and one story was based at the park, right? Both of these are going to be at their home, just so you know.
All right.
And in this first example, we're at the house, and basically everybody's awake, everybody's had breakfast, all right? We're just getting our daytime clothes on, okay? So everybody runs upstairs, and, what I do is I go through the boys' drawers, and they get to pick out what they want to wear, and that's that. We have a 3-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. So we've picked out what we want to wear, and Osty's favorite game is to look at me, laugh out loud, and then book it to Mom and Dad's room. And once he has booked it to Mom and Dad's room, he slams the door in my face. Like, slams it. I'm like, no, dude, it's time to get our daytime clothes on. We've got to get ready. Like, we've got shit to do today, all right? Let's go. So I run in there, and he's laughing and thinks it's super funny. And so I go and get him, and he bites me on the thigh. Fucking super hard. Like,
Oh, this is
draws blood.
this is so obvious already.
I
Come
know.
on.
But that's
So-
what we thought last week.
So I'm like, God damn it. Like, I did not need this today. All right, let's get your fucking clothes on. I got shit to do. All right. So we go and we get dressed, and that's that. The next story.
Next
Again.
story. All right.
Oh my god, how could that not have been the prison
No,
story?
first story is the nanny story. Are you kidding me?
Whoa.
Slam the door and bite somebody?
In a prison, there is no way somebody can repeatedly, when the person comes in, run to some other cell or whatever they're doing and run away and not be like reprimanded and put into solitary confinement.
Okay, we need the second story.
We need the second story.
No, so
Jesus
you
Okay.
are.
So far, I'm thinking the first story has got to be nanny.
I'm
Nanny.
thinking the first story is it's gotta be a prison story.
Okay. And all right. So I'm the swing vote on this.
When we got Lindsay, special guest Lindsay.
That's true. That's true. Lindsay hasn't spoken. Lindsay, what is your opinion on this?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. You both brought up really good points. I was thinking the prison story, but then I was like,
Okay.
but wait, when you said that, like, if this was like a thing this person did every day, then how they would be like, look, they would have special precautions to make sure this doesn't happen.
That's true. But we do know Amy does have the leeway of embellishing certain details, which
Right.
is kind of what makes
That's
this
my
true.
God.
possible.
So
But-
so
but-
would you go? Would you say nanny or prison?
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, it's the hard. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Nanny.
Nanny. Okay, I was gonna say prison.
Okay, so we got 2 on 2. Perfect.
All right, go.
Amy, you've been
Jesus
successful.
Christ.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing that has happened to people.
All right, story number 2. Let's go.
Okay, so the second story, we are upstairs and we're playing, and Jake and the Neverland Pirates is over, and I told them once Jake and the Neverland Pirates is over, we're gonna go play downstairs.
Butt pirates.
All right.
Boo.
So once our show's over, I'm like, we're not going down until we clean up. So everybody gets everything, we get it all cleaned up, and we go downstairs, and Brianna and Austin are playing really nicely, which is weird because usually it's Brianna and Mason, and they're building Legos together, and Mason doesn't like that they're playing Legos together. Okay? So Mason comes up to me and he says, Amy, I'm sad. Mason, why are you sad, baby? It's okay. Just tell me what's going on. Why are you sad? And he says, Brianna's not playing with me. And it hurts my feelings that she's not playing with me. Well, honey, why don't you just go tell Brianna you want to play with her? Because I want to hurt Austin. No. You are not going to hurt Austin. No. We're not doing this. It's not going to happen.
God damn it.
Dude.
So I'm not done yet. So I tell him, do you want to play Legos with them? He says, yes, I want to play Legos. I said, why don't you go over there and ask them. Why don't you go over there and ask them if you can play Legos? Okay. I'm going to go ask if I can play Legos with them. Okay. So he goes over. What's the first thing he does?
Shanks him.
He looks at the Legos and he fucking swats them right in Austin's face. Right, not at Brianna, no, because it's not Brianna's fault that she's playing with Austin. It's Austin's fault that she is playing with him. So then I pull Mason back over. I'm like, was that a nice choice? No, that wasn't a nice choice. I said, what are you gonna go do? Well, I need to go say I'm sorry. That's right. You need to go apologize to both of them because that was not a nice thing that you just did. So he goes over. And what I'm thinking is going to be an apology turns out to be at Austin's face. Again, not Brianna, at Austin. A little flick. And then, of course, Austin starts screaming, runs over to me, and I'm just holding him because he's fucking frightened because he just, for no reason, just flicked him right in the face. And I held Austin. I said, it's okay, baby. It's okay. And he just looked at me. He goes, no. Mason, not nice. Not nice. Those are my stories.
I honestly, I don't know.
Shit.
I do want to know if the second one ends up being the prison one. I want to know what the Legos was sort of like replaced of. Like, I want to know what the other two inmates were like doing that the guy got so pissed off. But we'll go around again.
I had to walk away.
Yeah, Curry did. He did.
Like, I want to know what every single prison story would be if it needed to be replaced by childish care language.
It'd be amazing. This is a beautiful segment.
God, I thought it was the first one.
Yeah.
I thought it was obviously the first one. Second one
Is
the prison story.
no way. Now I'm. God damn it.
No, let's go around.
Okay. Are you going next?
So you think this was you think this one was the prison story?
The obvious interactions between gangs, and like,
I don't want to I don't want you to try and persuade anyone. We just want opinions right now. So
My mind's made up, so he can say whatever he wants. I'm
It's
interested
just,
in.
God, I cannot imagine flicking somebody in the face is not stabbing them with a knife that you made out of a book for 3 months.
so you think the first one was the nanny story, and the second one was prison?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think the second one was prison. I thought the first one was prison. No. The second one is prison? Jesus Christ, prison does not seem that bad.
All right,
Second
Zimmer?
one's prison. Second one's prison.
Okay.
Second one's prison.
I'm gonna say first one is prison, second nanny. Lindsay?
I'm sticking with mine. Nanny, then prison.
So right now we have the second one as 2 prisons, and the first story as 1 nanny.
Yeah.
I'm on Zimmer's side.
So we're 3-1.
Well, no, I
No,
think
we're
the
2.
second story is nanny. I think the first story is prison. I'm changing my opinion now. At first, I thought the first one. I heard it, and I'm like, that's gotta be.
It's 3-1 then.
I think. Oh
I think the second one's prison. You think the first one's nanny.
no, I think the first one's. I think the
Fuck
first one's
that
prison.
He changed his mind.
I think the first one is prison.
Yes.
So it's
And
The
you
one
think
where
the
the
first
dude
one-
flips
and-
the other dude in the nose. I
To
think
me, that's nanny.
prison.
What do you?
I think that's prison.
I think Curry is the only one that thinks the second one is prison.
I think the second one is prison.
Okay, so
I
Curry's
can't
alone on
believe-
this one.
It's 3-1.
Okay.
Amy, verdict.
Nah. Hard.
Okay, so
You did a really good job presenting
Yeah.
that, by the way.
Yeah.
You are amazing. This
Yeah.
is a perfect bit for you. You stew over this over the next week because this is a weekly thing.
Yeah.
I don't care how much work it
I
takes.
need
It
to
is
start
amazing.
writing down notes.
Yeah.
Because my segment is garbage compared to yours.
Amy, go. Explain.
okay. Do you want me to tell you first what's what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
The second story is the prison story.
I am a god.
you got
I
it.
am a golden god.
You got it.
The
Curry and Zimmer each have one
first
now.
story is nanny. So it was actually that was a completely true story. Austin did not want to play. Like, he didn't want to get his clothes on. He just wanted to think it was funny to, like, run into his mommy and daddy's room and play and hide from me. So he slams the door in my face. And so I run in and he's laughing. And out of excitement, he chomps me on the thigh. And I actually I still have a bruise. And it's been,
That's
like,
what got
since
me
Tuesday?
at first. It's just like the
Yeah.
idea of somebody fucking biting you. That's obviously
Yeah.
prison.
Nope,
I thought it was
a
nanny too.
toddler.
That's why I heard the second one.
It's so amazing
And
that
then-
toddlers are basically prison.
And then, okay, so the prison story is actually quite interesting. So there's this man who is currently serving a life sentence, and he gets moved from one cell to another, and this is all in quotes, but Joe is his roommate, and he's like cool with Joe. He doesn't have a problem with Joe. Like, whatever, Joe's fine, you know. So they're at lunch, and excuse me, I burped.
We're all
And
drunk here.
one of the guys comes up to him, and he was like, "Just let Joe know, or don't let Joe know, but I just want to like warn you not to be in the area. We're gonna jump him, and you shouldn't be around when it happens." And, you know, so he's like, well, shit, you know, like, what do I do at this point? Like, do I tell them? Do I keep it a secret? And he was like, you know what, I'm going to be here for life anyway. So he's like, I'm just going to go over and tell him what's going on. So he goes over and tells him, hey, you're going to be getting jumped. Well, Joe's like, cool, I'm ready. He's got a tuna can on the ready. And
What, a
so
tuna can?
he has a tuna can on the ready
I
and
guess sharp edges.
slices these people that jump him
Fuck.
with a tuna can.
Mm.
And
Fuck.
so after that's all said and done, you got people that are like being mended to. A couple weeks later, the same people come up to him and they're like, "We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. Just be warned that it's gonna happen." And they were like, "But don't tell him." And he's like, "Well, I have to like give him a heads up, you know." So they take hot oil and they throw it in his face. And so it melts off his nose, his cheek, part of his eyebrow, everything is just completely deformed. And that's why he was poking his face.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I like the first story better.
And we also want to point out that in the voting process, Matt Cole.
We should stop
What's-
saying whole names.
Sorry, Matt, American-Canadian Gamer, was
We should
correct.
stop doing that too.
What? We have maybe
No,
people that listen
go
to ours
on,
and not
go
his.
on, go
He was
on.
correct. His reasoning he had left us on the comment was that it was easier for a child to bite a thigh, and so that's why he thought the first story was a nanny story.
Because that's why he's smarter than all of
Oh,
us.
damn it,
Very
that's a good point.
Why he's successful. You son of a bitch, Matt.
I also want to point out that you guys were in the decision process were really confusing me, and I did say the first story was a nanny story because I said that you wouldn't, like a prisoner that would not be able to allergies, and my head's a little stuffed up.
All right.
We actually did something this podcast. Like, we discussed
It's so
stuff.
funny. It's so funny how, like, you know, I feel like maybe I shouldn't do it because I'm like, maybe but at the same time, I'm like, am I, you know, kind of like, you know, making it seem too childlike, and that's why I'm like, you know what I mean?
The
I'm
more
like,
childlike you make it seem, the harder it is.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about farts. So
It's true. For a
something.
significant period of time.
Jesus, this has been the best podcast we had.
No, they're
For
good.
somebody that said
Yeah.
every other podcast was the worst one, I feel proud of this.
No, I'm happy, you know, that it turned out as it did. But you know, the last one also I felt was pretty good.
I
When we
listened
ended
to
it.
a lot of it.
Like you haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it either. I haven't honestly. I have not listened to any of them except the first two.
Well, this second one was pretty good. That
But-
third one was probably our greatest.
You just said this one was our greatest, though.
Second greatest.
Was
Yeah.
the 3 or 4 Bloomin' Onion?
Third was Bloomin' Onion.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and
I
then
love
the
that.
fourth was also partial Bloomin' Onion.
Yeah, partial.
Yeah,
Bloomin' Onion is gross. Like,
yeah.
I wish John was here. He's going to pee right now. He's gonna go a dainty pee pee. He probably sits down in the potty
He's coming back though. Don't worry about it.
because he had to stand up on the potty. It
Yeah.
took him a while to stand up. Bloomin' Onion, gross or gross?
The second one.
Gross.
Yeah.
What are you doing, baby?
Let's
Matt, were you here when Matt had his guesses and why they made so much sense?
What?
Matt was right.
I said that.
yeah.
Oh, it was
he's
you?
the
I
one
thought it
who
was
said
you.
No.
No,
Oh,
it was
shit.
John.
Okay, maybe I'm
Yeah.
drunk.
Let's
We ended it?
yeah, I think we're gonna
That was a really
We're gonna
good thing. I think
come to
we
this
should
to
end
an
it.
end. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. Anyone have any last remarks before we sign out?
I have a last remark.
All right.
I just want to thank Matt so much for listening through to the entire thing.
Jesus,
Yeah.
we are just
He's a
making
trooper.
him seem like a god.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we had even 3 viewers, but then it seemed like we had 2 steady viewers throughout. I'm assuming, I know Matt was one. I think Chelsea was the second one.
I think Chelsea was the second one. Yeah.
And it's awesome that we even have people listening through to the live feed. And hopefully next week we'll get better, and maybe we'll keep the chat up so that way we can just make sure we're not missing out on comments.
right. Encourage
viewers.
live viewers.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we'll try and get better at that.
We'll just do a script of Pokemon next weekend. We'll just do a script that plays Pokemon. Just
All right.
yell your suggestions at us.
All right. So
We're
let's
not
do our sign outs. My name is Zimmer,
Curry.
Amy.
John.
and our special guest filling in for Danny.
Lindsay.
Thank you for joining us, Lindsay.
Oh, thanks for having
And for our viewers, thank you so much for making it to the end of this podcast. I know it's very long, but I hope you enjoyed it very much.
Well, I'm rambling.
And we'll see you next week.
For episode 7.